Is it good? All right. Welcome, guys, to the Merry Boozers RC channel. Tonight we have our Toss and Boss series conclusion. We've seen us flying them all week. We've been enjoying them like crazy. It's been very, very fun. And tonight is the culmination. We're going to be giving away the 64mm Panther here that we've papa-dotted and pimped out. We've got some fun games to go along with that. And we also have some special guests tonight. Laura, if you'd like to bring them on screen, we have James from Motion RC and Alpha from Motion RC both in the chat tonight. Guys, would you like to say hello?
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
How you doing on this
Sunday night?
And Alpha?
And greetings from Monday from China, everyone.
So Alpha doesn't have a video signal today, just to give you all a heads up, but he's going to be kind of talking along and answering questions with you guys as we go here.
Alpha would never have a video signal. It would just be PAL 9000.
Right, that's right.
in the screen. Nobody knows what he looks like, and we keep it that way.
The secret background conversation here. So James, I guess I guess it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. I've talked about doing this for a while, and I can't believe we got Alpha tonight. That's going to be so cool. Your set looks phenomenal. I love your papa-dotted Corsair sitting behind you.
I just flew it yesterday. It's not crashed. I put the wings back on. Brought it out of the car. So still flies like a champ.
Oh man, and I've seen him fly it, guys, and he does a great job with that Corsair. And the Corsair is absolutely a gorgeous model. I mean, when it came out, I kind of was one of the guys that was like, oh, another Corsair. But when I saw it in person, that airplane is absolutely, definitively the best Corsair ever made. I mean, I want one of those planes. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I have nothing really to say other than I just enjoy flying. I take it everywhere. It has to come with me. So relax. 10 minutes, 6,000 Admiral, all the way up front, and it's never been easier. It's just like it's too much fun to not take, and it just presents well. And when you get 2 or 3 guys with them, it's the best.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, let's start talking about some of these 64mm that you see here. I've got my Lippy sitting here, and I see you sitting there with your Lippy all custom painted. I have to say, James's Lippish has one of the coolest paint jobs I have ever seen. Tell us a little about your scheme you did on yours.
Well, so it was funny because when the Mustang, the new Flightline 850 Mustang came out, before anybody really saw it, I got myself like 1 or 2, and I had some extra decals from it because it comes with 2 sets. And I was just looking at my Lippy there, and I'm like, man, since it's a concept jet anyway, I can really have some fun with it. I can make it whatever I want to. So let's pretend that the Americans captured this German concept jet and used it to attack them. So I said I wanted invasion stripes, and I never throw out any decals. Any extra decals I get from anything, I always save. So I just went through what I got, little Rust-Oleum, and this thing is still a beast. Yeah. 6-7 months in, and it still looks the same as it did, day one. I love flying this thing. It's like my mascot now.
Yeah, it is awesome, man. And guys, we see the comments on the feedback on the audio. I think that we're running into some issues with our source right now. Lori's got it fixed by the sound of it. There we go. Never mind. So anyway, I'm loving your Lippish, man. And if guys have seen mine before, I actually crashed mine pretty hard at Joe Nall. It got away from me. But I custom painted mine with, if you ever saw any of the old Luftwaffe planes, I actually did the little heart and the 7, and then I added the scale details to the tail, and of course we papa-dotted it like always. I mean, I've loved the little plane. The Lippish is absolutely a phenomenal flying airplane. It's hard to explain to guys, but if you've ever flown a flying wing, it's a lot like any of the flying wing type airplanes. They're very stable and very forgiving, wouldn't you say, as far as the stall on them? It's a very gentle. It just kind of pushes over. They don't really spin.
Yeah, to me, that plane is just a different experience than all the other jets, I feel, because it's a wing. It's just an EDF wing. You know, it's not. It's just beautiful that it happens to be a scale platform of some sort. But yeah, I mean, you can slow it down, you can speed it up. I'm sure it would rock if you put it on 4S, but you know, it's just too much. I remember when Alpha told me this thing was coming, and I read up, and I'm like, who the hell's gonna want that? And then you fly it, and you're like, oh yeah, everybody needs that. You know, it's one of those, you know, and it's something, to be honest, I would love to see this. If there was one to make big, I would love to see a 90 millimeter of
it would be cool
with landing gear, and I bet it would fly stellar because it wouldn't have the jet tendencies that, you know, other jets have. Like the Thunder Chief, whole different experience. Yeah. But the Lipish is like 20 mile per hour winds, fly the Lipish. You know, you're gonna have fun with it anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with you on the way it flies versus, like I said, I've got the Crusader here, and the Crusader is kind of strange the way that the flapper-on mix is set up on it. It makes a lot wider turning circles than most of the other airplanes, which I'm sure the Thunder Chief is the same way. I haven't had a chance to fly it yet, but it makes a lot wider turn. It's extremely stable as far as in a straight line. I mean, it gives you the confidence to come down low with it. It doesn't bobble or anything. It really blows me away on that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I hope we have more of these to come.
Right.
Because I like the 64s. They're fun.
Oh, definitely. And they're cheap enough that a lot of guys can get into, you know, I mean, I got all 4 of these planes sitting here for the price of one big one, and it's cheap enough for a guy to get into it that's wanting to get his feet wet in EDFs and kind of learn.
Definitely.
I like your MiG.
Nope. I think I hear Alpha.
I like your MiG.
Yeah?
I like your MiG, Wesley.
Alpha, tell us a little bit about it. I mean, it sounds like we've got you back in for a minute. I mean, you're the lead product designer on this, so I'm sure you were definitely into a lot of these airplanes and how they were coming about. Oh, did we lose him again? I had him for a second. So, guys, Alpha is coming to us all the way from, where is it, China tonight?
He's in China.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in a taxi cab early Monday morning in China, heading to a new factory.
Right. Well, Alpha, while we can hear you good, why don't you talk to us for a few minutes?
So I'm glad to hear your feedback on the Toss and Bosses, Wesley, and I think you guys are right on. Each of these are a little different. You get 3 or 4 for the price of a larger jet, and as you pointed out, the paperclip, Operation Paperclip was the code name for the Lipish. That aircraft, as a wing, has all the wing tendencies. Great stall, approachable in high wind or low wind, just easy overall. So, which is why we really did it. Aside from obviously the historical bent, which I'm really interested in, it gave us something that's different from the Crusader, from the 105, and the other birds on the way. So the Crusader, by contrast, as you mentioned, turns widely. Our idea with that being our first Toss and Boss after sort of resurrecting the series after a few years was that something that won't really bite you. It won't flip over on you. It won't snap into a stall. So a lot of what went into it being that high wing with the angel tail, it gives us just a little bit of flavor. Yes, all of these fly essentially the same, I would say, difficulty level, but they have unique characteristics that we want to show. And once you start adding color, it just gets better. And customization, as both of you have done. I actually have an orange Lipish myself at home, but yeah, overall very, very fun.
Definitely.
I'm glad you guys are liking them.
Definitely. And James has got his P-51 out too. I haven't.
I was just showing it's got the same girl on the side. It was funny because I posted pictures of this one of my custom Lipish about 2 weeks before the Mustang came out. Wondered if anybody would, there's so many Mustang schemes. The odds of somebody going like, I know that Enchantress girl,
right?
But I was hoping there'd be somebody out there who's just so into their airplane history they could tell, any nose art. That would be awesome.
Right.
But yeah, back to the 64s with the characteristics. So it's funny, Chloe from RC Safari, I got this Thunder Chief sent to me for Jonal. I put it together there just to have it displayed, but I never got a chance to fly it there. So when I went to Tire about 2 weeks ago, she was saying she was struggling, with her hand launches on this, and I said, yeah, I'll bring it there. I'll set it up and let's give it a go. And I did the maiden there, and man, it went great. But it's like I was so used to the lip fish because I was like, I hadn't really flown another 64 in a while. I just, I don't get a chance to fly the 64s as much as I'd like. But I was like balls to the wall, full throttle, virtually the entire flight. It's just a different experience. But like with this one, I dumbed down. I think I had 60% expo, the lowest I could possibly go on the aileron, and the highest I could go on the elevator. Yeah. But it flew great, and just I'm like, wow, I'm surprised I hadn't gone out and flown it in a while, since I had it sitting here. But I wish I had time to fly all the time.
I definitely agree on the Corsair, the same thing. I cut the ailerons way down on it because the roll rate on it is nuts, but I like all the elevator I can get on that one.
You mean the Crusader?
The Crusader, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Mike.
There's so many airplanes here today.
Down on the Corsair, you screwed.
Not the Corsair, the Crusader. No Corsairs in the 64s tonight, guys. It's easy to mix them up when you get to talking about all these airplanes.
Oh, totally.
So,
totally.
Anyway, yeah, it's awesome. I guess real quick, do we want to do our first entry tonight? Seems like we got a bunch of guys in here loving it.
You got everybody here. Did you explain how you're doing this? Because this is all on you. You should explain.
Not yet. We're going to get into it now. So, guys, we're giving away the little Panther tonight. I've papa-dotted and pimped it out, as always. Kind of as a celebration of hitting 1,000. I mean, we're doing the Possum Boss. We've got James here and Alpha. It's just been a great night. I'm going to do a series of questions tonight. So I'm going to ask you a trivia question. Lori's going to be watching the comments section once it goes live, and I've asked the question, and she is going to be looking for that correct answer. When the first person pops up in there, whatever order she sees it in, that person's going to be entered to win this. And we're going to do a series of questions tonight as we go. So you got to be here the whole time to get your answers in and get your questions so that you get to get this. But that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to ask a question. You're going to type in the comment as far as your answer goes, and the first person to answer correctly gets entered to win the airplane. And at the end of the night, we draw from the questions. That person wins the airplane. That easy. So,
am I eligible?
Alpha wants to know if he's eligible.
I'm excited because he showed me some of these questions, and I'm like, man, my history is weak. But Alpha's going to be like, boom, boom. If he gets one wrong, then, if we can trick the artificial intelligence,
we're good. Trick the artificial intelligence. Well, I guess, guys, do y'all want to play one round here? Let's see how this is going to go, huh? Dun, 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 dun. Get my questions out. All right, Lori, are you ready to watch the comment section? All right, here we go. The first atomic bomb was dropped by the Enola Gay. The second bomb, B-29 Enola Gay. The second atomic bomb, codenamed Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki. What was the name of the second B-29 that dropped the bomb? Brrr. All right, let's see who is the first to answer it. Lori is watching along. I can repeat the question if needed again. I'm trying to watch along here. There's lots of people thinking right now, Jeopardy style.
You need the Jeopardy music.
I know. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I see one. Monkey Bomber 36 has got the right answer. Was there any before that?
No, that was the first one.
There it is. Monkey Bomber 36. You got it. Boxcar was the name of that B-29.
So now
it was actually spelled different than Boxcar, though. But everybody knows it as Boxcar. It was actually Bockcar. B-O-C-K-S-C-A-R. But close enough.
Close enough. I'll take it.
So, Lori, if you would write his name.
So then at the end of the night, are you writing them down and picking out of a hat?
Lori's going to write them down, throw them in a hat, and at the end of the night, we're going to hold it up and pull them out.
Oh, wow. That's how you get viewers.
That's right. That's serious. We got to have them stay here for the show.
Can't leave now.
No. So I guess tell us a little bit about the P-51 and the I can't remember the name of it right now. The little German plane also.
It's an FW-190, but it's the D9 Dora. Dora was sort of its nickname. So, obviously Alpha could attest to this, but off of the success of the Park jets, Free Wing also makes the Flightline brand, and we noticed that I think they noticed a hole in the market as far as fun fighters. I feel like people, in the past, there were a lot of these types of aircraft, just hand launch, Warbirds that are just fun to fly, and they sort of disappeared on the market for whatever reason. We see a lot of planes seem to disappear, and nobody really knows the reason. But, that I think they just saw a hole in the market and said, I think we can do that. And with today's technology, think about how fast the technology in RC goes. You can make them infinitely just better than they were in the past. These are, the same foam used on a bigger jet. Just looking at the Dora and the Mustang, just their profiles, and for something so small, for $129, the detail on it is awesome. And if you spend a little extra money, you could add a pilot or do a little extra to it. But man, these are just, again, super fun to fly. I've gotten to a point now where every time I go to the field, I'll take one of these and one 64 millimeter jet, just because I don't know about you, but I don't know. Every time I go fly, every time that first flight for me, I'm always shaky. So I'd rather fly something like this just to warm up my thumbs, and realize that what's the worst that could happen if I smash this? I'm okay spending another 129 for another one. But at least I didn't do it with before I get out to the A10 or something bigger. I like to fly these, and I just think for the money, you can't beat it. It's 3S, 4S straight out of the box. So if you want to fly it fast or slow, you got it. And it goes together as fast as any 64 millimeter, toss and boss jet would. Within about less than an hour. 30 minutes, you're in the sky, and they're just great frames. And I remember when Alpha told me, he said, again, obviously my past in RC, I have to, I go back to learn about what was then, but I don't know what kind of fun fighters or how they flew, the ones that were around about 10 years ago. I think Hobby King had some, I'm sure Eisen probably had some, but from what Alpha was telling me, just the profile and the shape just never really was true scale, and they did their best to take something so small and truly give it the shape and the dimension that you couldn't tell. If I took a picture of this in the sky, you wouldn't be able to tell that it was an 850 millimeter foamy. You'd think, oh, that could be a 1600 millimeter.
Right, definitely. And I've been blown away with the Crusader, with the finish on this airplane. I think this is probably the best looking one of the series that I've had my hands on. The finish of this airplane is absolutely phenomenal, which I don't know if you've had one up close yet, but it is beautiful.
My details too.
Yeah, and it comes pre-applied from the factory. Alpha, you probably helped design this thing, so let's hear about it.
With the Crusader being our first 64, after resurrecting the series, as I said, in a while, we wanted to come up with a model that it's almost mantelpiece size. You can put it above the fireplace, provided it's not too hot. It's sort of display, right? And we approach it as, why, if we're able to sort of put the F-15 with 120 decals on that big 90 millimeter, why can't we sort of scale that down and make it sensible for people? We got a lot of feedback from customers saying, the big stuff's cool, but it's expensive. I want to fly. I want to have something to always have in the trunk, but I don't necessarily want to sacrifice scale fidelity. I still want to have the shape to be more or less accurate given proportion constraints. I still want to have decals that sort of look the part. And the Crusader was that photo we were able to really get good references from some of our partners. The Hawaii Pacific Air Museum being one of them. They've got a F105 there. And I was able to go and get photos and really see what decals say, which is important, I think, for getting
Just because it's small, just because it's inexpensive, doesn't mean it look the part. You know what I mean?
Right. No, and definitely, like he was saying, as far as an airplane that you could just have sitting on a mantle or whatever, I mean, this looks like a scale model as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it comes with all the little warning labels pre-applied. I mean, I've riveted mine, of course. It doesn't come like that, but that's easy enough to do. But as far as the decals on it, I mean, and the paint for this airplane just blew me away the way they finished this one. Love the white bottom, too. Still there, everybody?
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Anyway, now, personally, out of the ones I have flown, and I don't know if you guys attest the same way, the MiG is actually one of my favorites to fly. There's something special about the MiG, the flight characteristics of it. It's not the fastest in the series by any means, and it's not got the fastest roll rate or anything, but there's something just about it that's super stable to me when I have flown it.
MiGs, by their very nature, are stable yet acrobatic platforms. So it's a good one. Even being one of the older birds, it still shines.
Now, James has told me that the Panther is really good. I have not ever flown the Panther, and unfortunately I'm giving it away, so I won't get to fly it. But James, tell us about how the Panther flies. I mean, you've actually flown it, so let's hear about it, man.
Yeah, I dig the Panther. I mean, to be honest, the Panther for me is between the Thunder Chief and the Lippish as far as its capabilities. I mean, it's quick. I mean, and push come to shove, like a lot of these, it's hard to really tell, you know, a drastic difference. But at least with the Panther, I can slow it down. I will say about the Panther, I think if there was one 64 millimeter I wanted to see in a larger size, that would be it.
I would agree.
You know, it's a good looking bird just in, you know, in real life. And of all the 64s, when you go to the website and you just search by the 64, that one is, you know, just people are saying my mic is muted. But to me, that one just stands out above the rest with the yellow and the navy blue. You know, something about it just pops. But as far as flying, again, you know, flying a 64 millimeter jet, I'm pretty much doing similar things with each one, lowering down my rates on aileron, keeping the elevator high, you know, and just bossing it around the sky because they're all yank and bank. So
Right.
there's really nothing, you know, there's nothing too involved with it. You know, somebody can't get mad at you for not using your rudder when you're flying. You're like, hey man, this is just, you know, let her rip. Like, let her rip for 3 or 4 minutes, have some fun, and, you know, regardless of which one you choose, you're going to have a good experience. You know, granted, you set it up correctly.
Right.
So, but I definitely dig the Panther, but, you know, push come to shove, it's, you know, it's personal preference, but, you know, Lippish would be my favorite one to fly just for its wide flight envelope, but the Panther would be more closer to the Lippish as far as the flight envelope for me than, let's say, the Thunder Chief.
Right.
You know, the Thunder Chief, you got to be on your toes more with the Thunder Chief.
Definitely.
At least in.
So Lori says we've got a question from the audience. Let's get over to Lori real quick. Well, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, there we go. So we were asked, what is that Navy plane sitting in the cradle?
So people are wanting to know what's the Navy plane sitting in the cradle. Well, it's the one we're talking about. This is the Panther, guys. Do you have the product page loaded up for it?
I've got that scroll through page.
That's okay. It's not that important, but this is the 64 millimeter Panther for guys that are jumping in. We have the MiG, the Lippish, the Crusader. James has got the Lippish sitting there in front of him in a custom paint job. We're just kind of going through the Toss and Boss series for guys that are coming in late. We're going to be actually giving this airplane away by the end of the show tonight too. So for everybody that's new into the chat tonight, I can't actually see how many are in tonight. My thing's not working, but welcome to the show if you're just getting in.
78.
78 guys in here right now. Awesome. Lori's kind of setting it through right now, showing you the product pages on Motion's website right now of each of these airplanes. So y'all could start looking at them if you've been drooling and thinking about getting one during tonight. And there you go.
Yeah, man.
There it is put together in his hands. So.
Well, that's the difference. You get like what, $98 for this one. I think it's $109 for the Lippish. I mean, they're all so, you know, they're all so cheap.
Right.
In in price-wise, but not cheap in performance and looks. And like Alpha said, like, you know, you can display these. Like, these are awesome. If you never even wanted to fly it, just put it somewhere and say, you know, they're really, really, really beautifully done. My Panther, though, I haven't flown it in a while because, funny story, at Joe Knoll, they were mowing the lawn one day, and I tossed it, and the battery must have slipped. My plane went tail heavy and just sort of fell on the ground, and the guy hit the wing with a lawnmower.
No.
And I've glued it back together and made it look pretty good, but I haven't even given it another shot since. I was so mad that day.
You know,
But
I really like the look of the Panther. After getting them all here in front of me, I mean, I think the Panther's one of my favorite looking ones of them. I still think the Crusader is prettier, but I think that I'm going to like the way the Panther flies more. So I'm probably going to end up with one for myself, too. I'll probably end up with the entire series eventually. Now, have you flown the small F-22? I've heard a lot of guys talking really good about that one also.
It's funny, I have not, but just last weekend when I was at Tired Iron Aviation, anybody who follows that, RC Jet Dude, Steve Hodges, he was on your show, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
His son has the F-22 on 4S, and he was flying that thing around like a beast, and I never got a chance to fly that one. And the new 4S one on it, I heard has similar flying characteristics to the Big 90. You know, I fly the Big 90 a lot, F-22, so I can only imagine a smaller version of that. I'm sure the thing rips, and I'm sure it has a wide, from what I can see, you know, Enoch isn't doing, well, I shouldn't say that. Enoch is a kid who has no fear, so he does a lot of crazy stuff with his plane, and that thing can take it, you know what I mean?
Right.
You fly it slow, fly it fast, and, you know, it really, 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 really looks like a really, really good jet. You know, that one and the Twin 60 A10 seems to be a good flyer. That, you know, again, Enoch is 14. I see Steve in the chat. 14-year-old kid, been flying, you know, a couple years now, but, you know, I feel like in the last year he's really gone from inexperienced to now kid looks like he could fly anything. His dad just bought him an L-39 and he was flying it the other day like a champ. So I think you're gonna.
Yeah, he's a good pilot.
Yeah, I think you'll like any of those. But the F-22 and Alpha was the 90 millimeter.
Oh, did I lose him?
I'm here.
Oh,
I
okay.
think James is-
We lost James for a second there.
I think we lost James, but I'll jump in for the F-22 64.
He's back.
The smaller F-22 64 is one of the more popular birds of the bunch. I think, one, it's younger generations. It's a more recognizable aircraft. I love the Panther as well. I frankly love the Cougar a bit more. But the Raptors is a nice bird because it's recognizable, and as James was saying, as Enoch can attest to, it has a wide envelope. I prefer to pull the landing gear off of that one, off of both the Raptor and the Hornet. Without landing gear, true toss and boss style, those aircraft they look great, and really I think they fly great for what they are.
Right. And I've definitely wanted to get my chance at both of them, and I just, like I said, hadn't got to them yet. I was moving down the line slowly.
Take the 4S F-18 without landing gear. It's one of the sleeper aircraft. In the same way that the 90 millimeter Venom is a plane that few Americans, I should say, buy, but once they do, most of them will say it's top 3 as sort of flight characteristics. The Hornet is one of those birds which isn't talked about a lot in the 64 millimeter series, but it's fast. Fast, maneuverable, and yet still has really great alpha capabilities. 3S, or I think I flew mine on a 4S-22 or even a 4S-2500. So it's a little bit something for everyone.
Right.
The F-22, I still do need to shrink that pilot, but it's on the to-do list, guys. I think that's the one bit of feedback we've had on that bird.
Right. And speaking of the Venom, I actually agree with you completely. I think it's probably one of the airplanes that a lot of people skip that they really shouldn't. I have a Venom, and I absolutely love my 90 millimeter Venom. It's one of the easiest, most docile jets to fly. I mean, I put it up there with Avanti. I know a lot of guys are like, the Avanti, and I'm like, man, I think for scale, easy flying airplanes, that airplane, there's something about it. It's just so easy to fly. Personal opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a wing.
Right.
You're getting a lot of the characteristics of difficult to stall, very lightly loaded. It looks like a big bat in the sky, and it's essentially a kite, but still has, with the new power system upgrade we did maybe a year or so ago now, it can go. Some of my, if anyone's listening, Tim or Tony or Nick or Harris, any of the guys from Apollo can attest to. I will on pavement with a 6S with the current power system in that Venom, from a standstill, I can do a 10 to 12 foot rollout, then go almost straight vertical for about 40 feet, then level off. It's we call it a vertical takeoff in that Venom, and it's just something that other aircraft can't do. You still obviously have the story, the provenance behind that aircraft, behind the Avalanche, and it looks unique. So, we're talking about the small birds, but that's sort of one that really speaks to me as far as flying characteristics and in the context of 64s being approachable and easy to fly. The hope is that people graduate towards the 70s, the 80s, or the 90s, and it is one of those aircraft that when people start looking upwards in size, it's one of the first ones that I tend to recommend. The Avanti's definitely on there for search and reasons, but you're absolutely right. Scale, it's hard to beat that.
It is hard to beat it.
For something so approachable.
And from what I hear, whenever I hear one, the sound, like nothing really sounds like it.
Yeah, it sounds.
For whatever reason, just the way the air comes through that Venom, it always sounds awesome.
Well, I guess real quick, guys, let's get another entry in the hat for this beautiful airplane tonight. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. So if everybody wasn't here earlier, we're gonna read out a question. You have to answer the question in the comment section. First one to answer the question gets an entry in the hat to win this airplane tonight, and towards the end of the episode we're going to draw for the winner of this airplane. Keeping it as easy as possible, guys. You do not have to spell it correctly, because I know this one's kind of a strange one to spell, but if you know the answer, please put it in there. Just get as close as you can. I'll know if you're telling me the right one. So, the Bell X-1 was the first airplane to break the sound barrier. Chuck Yeager named the airplane after his wife. What was the name he wrote on the front of the Bell X-1? Do do do
oh do
do
do do do
do. I haven't seen it yet.
You're gonna need to pay for that.
Did Alpha get it? Does he know it?
I don't know. We're trying to see if anybody gets it here.
Oh, I know it.
Oh, he knows it,
And
baby.
does anybody want to hear the question again? Lori, have you seen it yet? Nope, it's not that. Oh, I see it.
How
Jim
fast?
Reed.
How fast can everyone Google?
Jim Reed.
I think this is
I
a test
see
of
it.
how quickly we can Google.
Jim Reed got the answer. Glamorous Glynis. He technically spelled it Guinness,
Glamorous.
but I bet it just auto-corrected on
It
it.
says Glynis.
Well, Dave wrote LaMouse Glennis. These people are. We might not have the best typers in the chat
It
today.
doesn't matter if you spell it right, as long as you're close enough.
As long as you're close, you got it. All right.
That's awesome.
We're just here to have fun, guys. At the end of the day, remember the giveaway planes. These are just for fun. You know, we hope you're enjoying everything, and we're trying to have a good time, and that's what we want to do. And I've loved being able to do it. I love being at a point in the hobby to where we can actually do what we're doing here. I mean, it's awesome. So, anyway. And I also know we can get off topic a little bit from the 64s. I mean, there's not going to be every day that I get to get you guys on here and talk to you. Is there a certain airplane y'all want to talk about right now to the audience while you're here? I know you've got a couple new releases right now. You've got the F-18, you've got the F-35s right now. They're all hot. I mean, we can talk about them a little bit too. I see you got one hanging on your wall, James.
I love that thing. I love the F-35, the 70 mil. It's that in-runner. It just boogies.
Right.
It really boogies, and it looks so good
You know,
in the sky.
Well, we can still keep it on a toss and boss conversation because the F-35, if you pull the landing gear out to save a bit of weight, and with that big belly, it'll belly land just fine. That aircraft's
I'm gonna go pull it off my wall.
right. I think we lost Alpha for a second
where
there.
it's difficult to have. Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to have access to runways here in China. So Toss and Boss, even for 70s, even 80s, not recommended. But people here do them a lot. So the other day I saw two F-35s that are belly landed, and all they did was they pulled the landing gear out, taped over the landing gear covers, and probably bought themselves another, I don't know, 15 mile an hour or so. But
Easily. You could tape over the bottom of those gear, even leaving the gear in.
Right.
You should have no problem. And this one actually belly landed not on purpose.
It belly landed on a tent, if I remember right.
Yeah, and it was fine. I took a little chunk out the back. This is still the same one. I've been flying this one like crazy since null, but this one we had a midair, me and Justin with the other F-35, and mine just rolled inverted, went towards the tents, and I lost it completely behind, but it flipped over, and when we went and checked it, just had one little notch of foam out of it, and it was sitting there like this with a little nose damage.
I was there, man. I was blown away.
You saw it.
I was like, oh, man, he just crashed the brand new one. They hit each other. And sure enough, I walked over there. Y'all had the Home Depot paint out going to town on it. Flew it the rest of the weekend. So Lori says we have another question real quick. I'm going to get to her real quick before we run off. Or did we already lose it?
Nope, I found it.
It's hard to keep up tonight.
It's about that 35. Someone wants to know when they're going to be back in stock.
Somebody would like to know when the F-35 is coming back in stock.
I wish I knew offhand an exact time, but all I could say is more on the way, because these sold out really quick. At this price point, what is it, $289? You're getting a 70 millimeter in-runner with the upgraded landing gear. It's hard to beat. So they went really quickly, and I'm sure Alpha will probably say now that they're either shipped already or they'll be leaving the warehouse any minute.
Yeah, we've got lots more in the way of multiple shipments, and the good news and the bad news is, Tom has mentioned some of this on Hobby Squad in the past. We have so many containers leaving that at any given time there are containers being loaded, being packed, being loaded, in transit, arriving, being processed stateside and to our European warehouse. So it may seem like a cop-out, but it's true, as James says. It's just difficult to say exactly when things are going to arrive, because we've even had many instances where something will leave and outpace something that left before it. It's just the way the water in the trains work. But suffice to say, we got lots more. We thought that it would be seen as a good value. Thank you, everyone, for your support. It apparently was. So way faster than our projections, and even our enthusiastic projections had set forth. And so we're going to try and fill that gap here very, very shortly.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with it. I have one also, and we put our video up, and since the video I've flown it at least 10 or 12 more times, and I'm getting more and more confident with it every day. And the F-35, the one thing I can say that just blows me away on the F-35 is how fast it is. It really is amazing how fast that model goes compared to the other 70s that I've flown. I have an F-104 sitting here, which maybe that'll keep up with it, but we'll see.
I was flying with an F-104 this weekend, and yeah, the F-104 is still pretty quick. I mean, that Starfighter coming out of a dive, it's pretty quick.
Right.
But even the Hawk is fast with the Outrunner. I'm interested in putting this in-runner in my BA Hawk, because that was the last 70 millimeter I got before this one, and I still love that jet. And I wonder if it would even pick it up, putting this in-runner in there, because this thing is a beast.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
A little bit.
What did you say?
In-runners. I'm curious.
We might be losing it. We're trying.
Oh, Alpha?
Just to the audience.
I had it on mute.
Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yeah, I think we lost you for a second, but I can hear you now, Alpha.
I was just curious to the audience, between our 3S and our 4S 64 millimeter Toss and Boss birds, do people like the 3S more because of, obviously I see the sales data, but I'm curious, do we like the 3S because they're cheaper and lighter, or do more people like the 4S because they're a little heavier, they penetrate a little better, and obviously you're going to be faster?
personally, I like the 3S and the 4S birds. Now, it depends on the day, but it's kind of nice to have a bird that goes back and flies my 2200 3-cells that I've had so many of for my original airplanes starting out. And I could see a guy that was going from Warbirds and things from the smaller size that's been flying 2200 3-cells and everything, really liking that he doesn't have to buy batteries to get into these. Is where I could see that. Now, for performance, the 4S, there's no matching it, of course. That's what I would see. And it looks like the chat is blowing up with 4S. So
Yeah. Well, this is like when we recently went on Hobby Squawk, and Tom had asked people in runner, out runner, and it seemed overwhelmingly everybody said in runner. So, like I said in the flight review when I did the P-51 and the door, it's like, yeah, it's great that it can run on 3S, but since it can run on 4S, why the hell would I ever put it on 3S?
Right.
I just if I wanted to put it at the max potential it can go for. So
yeah.
Now
I can see it when somebody's
the
going.
advantage with those propellers is we can build in that variability, right? 3S or 4S without having to change anything else. That's always nice to have. I agree. 4S.
Right.
I mean, I can always fly slower. I can't get more power out of 3S. But only time I will fly it on 3S if I'm just out of charging and I have a 3S ready, then I'll throw it in there. But
yeah, definitely. Well, let's get another entry going, guys, for the airplane tonight. I'm trying to do one about every 15 minutes here, so. Guys that weren't here earlier, we're going to explain it one more time. I'm going to ask a question. You're going to comment down below. First one to comment with the correct answer is going to be entered to win the airplane tonight. That's as simple as this is. So here we go, without further ado. On May 20th, 1927, the first solo non-stop transatlantic flight from Long Island, New York to Paris, France was performed by Charles Lindbergh. What was the name of that airplane? That's right.
I feel like this should be an easy
And how
one.
many windows did it have?
Man. It had two, didn't it? One on both sides, and then he had a periscope for the front, if I remember right. Am I right, Alpha?
Yeah, you are. I was always curious how he flew that, how he landed there.
Right. And then it was mostly a gigantic gas tank. There it is. Bill Surratt. Spirit of St. Louis. I see it.
Oh, there he is. Popped up early for you.
Yeah, I get to see it a couple seconds before you do. Bam, bam, bam. There it is. Spirit of St. Louis. So Bill Surratt gets his name in the hat.
Did Alpha say he'd love to make that plane? Is that what you
I'd love to see that
I'd
airplane.
love to make that bird in a park flyer series. What it would have to have is that sort of iconic finish
Right.
of the aircraft.
Yeah, the matte,
Walked up to it in the museum. Yeah.
that matte finish with the like bronzed front end on it. I've actually seen the airplane. If I remember right, it's hanging in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum.
Yeah, it's in the Smithsonian. Yeah, you're right. If you walk up to that, sort of look where it's hanging, I'd love the surface on that aircraft. It'd be beautiful.
Yes.
Also, you don't need to worry about modeling the windscreen because there is none, so that'll save me a couple of bucks.
There you go. That'd be an easy one. I swear, wasn't it on the old Real Flight game? It had the Spirit of St. Louis on it, I swear. I think it did. And I always remember playing with that. Or I downloaded it or something, anybody that ever played it. That's one of the ways I learned to fly was with that game, but to each his own. I think, but that would be a neat airplane to see modeled, guys. I agree. Yeah.
Hey guys, since we got Alpha sitting in a cab tonight, any questions you guys have for him?
Uh-oh, Lori ran away right now.
Oh, Lori left you?
She's coming back,
out?
but she ran out for a second.
Oh, okay, she's
getting
are
her
you
a
sure
drink.
about that?
Yeah, she's getting a drink. She's coming back, but yeah,
Maybe
guys,
she just
if you
had
got any
a life
questions,
moment that it's Sunday night, I'm talking about RC planes, what am I doing?
what am I doing? I'm out here. No, she's watching now. If
She went flying.
She went flying.
That's right.
No,
So Lori's watching the comments. If y'all have any questions for Alpha, like I said, there's not a lot of opportunity to talk to this gentleman, so it's going to be really a neat thing if you've got any questions for him. And while you're sitting there, show off that beautiful Corsair behind you, James.
Oh, you're dotted?
The dotted Corsair. James has a Papa dotted airplane.
I just love that he did this. You know, I never want to lose that. Can you see in the light?
Yeah.
You can't see me, but your dad signed it. There it is. Signed it on the date.
There it is.
Show it off, but yeah, I just think it turned out so great. I mean, imagine they could mold that into the.
They can. Funny enough, I have seen it done.
It's
even
hard to see,
on.
but
What was it? The L39 actually has some of the rivets molded into it.
yeah, those rivets they like pop up,
Right.
right? I mean, these are dotted down, but either way, it looks so good. It gets so many comments, and my next step with this, I have to. Now I just want to weather it. You know, like I got to learn how to do the weathering properly just to further add to it. Would be awesome, but that's, you know, if this little jet is the Lippish that I customized as my mascot, that thing goes everywhere with me now. The Corsair.
So
And it's sad because I love my 1600 Spitfire. That was my favorite one, and it's just when I look at them both, I'm like, which one do I want to take? When the Corsair takes 6 screws and it's unassembled in my car, and you know, whereas the Spitfire's can be a pain in the butt to take apart. You know.
right.
So it's just the Corsair. I can fit more around the Corsair, so I end up taking it, you know, everywhere. But
So Lori says we've got some questions for Alpha now. Let's see what she's got for him.
let's do it.
All right. First question is: do we have any hints on any upcoming jets?
They want to know if there's any hints on any upcoming jets.
Need to make a shirt that says everything's coming and just wear that around.
Right.
That's the standard.
Yeah, that is the standard answer. Guys. I am in a cab going through the mountains, so apologies if this cuts out. But
Make sure it cuts out right before you announce what the next one is.
Right.
Right as you're saying
that would be convenient. Yeah, that would be convenient. Here's a hint. And again, guys, the main caveat, I'm not going down the foil road again. The main caveat is at any given time, we have products in development that are between 1 day old and 2 years old about to hit the water. And so when I get the question, what's coming next, or hints, it isn't disingenuous. It's truly accurate when I say, well, a lot. Because we're working on, 15 different aircraft. So I can sort of pick and choose as to which one's coming, and don't construe this to mean this is what is coming absolutely next. But I will say, I'll restate what I say fairly often, which is that something for everyone. That's really one of the things that we've tried to build out with our flight lineup, and bosses freewing with Balsa, with the announcement of our motors and retracts to support the Balsa effort. We recognize that there are a lot of people out there who love us, and we love you back, and we're grateful for your support. We also recognize there's a lot of people out there in this hobby who we haven't reached yet, and we want to reach them. This isn't just different categories. This is also a different type of aircraft. So I'm going to say, I'm going to leave it at that and say we have not yet forgotten that something for everyone is important.
Right. And I see another question in there. I saw another question that I wanted to ask you too. Are there going to be in-runner motors coming for the 90 millimeter airplanes? Is that something we can talk about?
Yeah, good question. So Tom posted in Squawk 6-7 weeks ago now, sort of, as James mentioned, asking customers. Obviously, in-runners have been a thing for a while now. It's no secret that it's an apples to oranges comparison, frankly, outrunner versus in-runner. Of course, they're going to be a little more faster, but they're a little heavier, they cost more. There's pros and cons. We have noticed trends as part of our job to try and not just always go for what we think is economical, but really listen to customers. And thread essentially spoke for the people. People said, we recognize in-runners are more expensive. We recognize there's some quirks about them, but we want them. And so we did that with the F-35. That had already been in process, and I can say that we've got plans to roll that out into the 90 millimeters. Now, to be fair, we've offered 90 millimeter variants of our in-runner variants of our 90 millimeter EDS for 5 years now. So we've had 90 millimeter in-runner F-15s and Yak 130s. What we're really going to be doing now is, I think, expanding the line, so to speak, to make them available in more of our current aircraft. And it'll probably be something that we've taken a much closer look on moving forward when we're trying to make the decision of, do we want to offer this F-35 in an outrunner version or an in-runner version? We're probably going to be more likely to offer the in-runner because we now have more data and feedback from customers that they're willing to accept sort of that price premium for the performance that they're getting. I think probably 99% of the feedback we've seen from the F-35 is that it's fast, it's great, we love it. We haven't had a lot of feedback as far as, I wish there was an outrunner in it instead. So it's important feedback, and it's a decision that we didn't want to make for customers. But now that we've asked the question and seen some of that feedback, we're able to, again, adapt that into our current products, into also some of our products to come. Now, one last thing I'll say about in-runner is, just because it's an in-runner doesn't mean it's always going to be better for the aircraft. So there are aircraft that we're still going to be releasing with different power systems. Suffice to say that we're going to make that decision based on what the performance, what that power system imparts on the performance of the aircraft. Because ultimately, it still needs to be a good value. You know what I mean? One of our hallmarks is it needs to work. It needs to make sense.
Right.
So that's actually a hint if you really think about it as to why one of our upcoming aircraft is not an in-runner. That's a really good hint.
Okay.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Mind blown.
But I'm excited.
Yeah, you do, James.
I don't. No,
Don't throw me under the bus. I don't know what you're talking about.
I find out when the box shows up at my house. I open it and I just make a video of it. That's the extent of my knowledge of it.
Right. Whatever it is, I'm sure that we are all going to just be falling in love with it, just like we have every other airplane that gets released.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that's eventually coming. So that's just one of the many, and who knows when that one will come in. We're trying not to do the whole project thing anymore that we were doing, because people seem to not enjoy being teased. Right.
And, I've got to say, too, guys that are asking for the next thing and the next thing, I mean, think about it. This year, y'all have released, 13, 14 airplanes already? I mean, if you consider all the balsa ones y'all released this year, I mean, that's a lot.
All the ones, it's us coming. Yeah, I mean, granted, that's coming from those planes already existed, at least the Black Horse.
But
it's just awesome to, I mean,
it's still new to the Motion RC brand, and guys got to consider that I mean, you're repping a whole new brand now.
Because it's ultimately resources, right? What we hope people, it's a fine line. We hope people consider when they look at Motion RC. We want them to think about us as what we are, which is we're a group of guys who really love this hobby and are doing everything we absolutely can to promote it, move it forward, and diversify, sort of expand our customer family and expand our ability to service those customers throughout the world. We're shipping to 80 countries now. At the same time, am I gone?
You're still on. James's audio or video just cut out. He might have lost his camera.
Okay. Yeah, my battery on my DSLR died, so now I'm on regular.
But you're still good.
At the same time, we want guys to recognize that if you love big jets, we're still going to make toss and bosses, because there are still people who want toss and bosses. If you love toss and bosses, you're still going to be into building out balsa.
Right. It's crazy.
to get there just because they're made before. We want to make sure they meet our standards. And just because they're like balsa doesn't mean we're going to be moving into other categories as well. So it's sort of fun in the sense that between the 16 different categories of aircraft currently on the website, we can't make one in every new category even in a given calendar year. It's just too much.
Right.
Which is why we sort of fall into these cycles every couple of years. It's a twin 80. At least once a year, there's a big 90. At least once a year, there's an 80. At least once every sort of 6 months, we try and do one of the smaller ones. Now we've got balsa in various sizes and some other things coming. So the goal is just to, again, something for everyone. Always trying to change it up and giving people the opportunity to see a website, see a company from which they as a customer, can jump in and interface with. And that's where the exciting part for me, because I see product pass my desk every day, and we get to think, okay, how does this fit? People want this. What would they want it for? At what price point? What color? All of those sort of things that are for me really exciting. And it begins and ends with sort of how customers feel about it. So
Right.
we're always grateful for that feedback, guys.
Cool. Well, guys, it's coming up on 9 o'clock. I see James is back. We lost him for a second, but
Yeah, DSLR battery died. Sorry about that.
It happens, guys.
Now we're on the camera.
That's okay.
You know.
Let's get another
Laptop
entry real
cam.
quick for the little Panther real quick, guys. So,
Do it.
once again, going to ask a question. Be the first one to answer in the comments section, and you're going to get an entry in the hat to win this airplane. So here we go. What happened on June 6th, 1944? Anybody? Everybody hear the question. What happened on June 6th, 1944?
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun. Who's gonna get it?
Made the questions get. Oh, Sean, I'll definitely fill you in on the Jolly Good Flying. I see that question.
Yeah, go on and talk
definitely-
about it right now. We'll be watching it.
Oh, well,
Oh, there's
somebody
an
got it.
Gene Ross.
Yeah.
Gene Ross got it. D-Day.
D-Day.
There you go, guys. So D-Day is what happened. So tell them about the Jolly Good Flying. That's a good thing right now. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna be there.
Just yesterday, I went out there with a few guys from the club. It's two clubs in Georgia that are combining to help, put the thing together. So it's the Flightline RC Club, not to be confused with Flightline, the brand. It's a club in Dalton, Georgia. They know people at that Dalton Municipal Airport where the Jolly Good Flying will be held. So we're at a real airport. You've got full taxiway. Occasionally, they get about 4 or 5 flights a day out of that place. So occasionally, they'll put up a red flag. You got to land, and a real Cessna or something will come in. But we were there yesterday, just figuring it out. Just again, one last sort of run through. But it's an awesome location. So again, the Cobb County Radio Control Club is going to be there. We're going to have pit bosses. We're going to have a misting tent. We're going to have bouncy houses for the kids. And we wanted to tell everyone, so I made a little video yesterday that'll come out this week. I plan on sending emails to at least all of our customer base who are, near, probably in the surrounding states. But again, Dalton Municipal Airport, Google that, and then head over to our events page. We have it now on motionrc.com and Hobby Squawk. The Jolly Good Flying's there. It'll give you a link to the registration page, which is held on the Cobb County Radio Control Club's registration. I believe registration somewhere. If you pre-register, it's going to be cheaper than if you show up that day. But they're going to have T-34 Mentor there giving rides that you can pay for. I think you get something like 20 minutes, in the sky with that, which would be really cool. But the beauty of it being at a real runway is, whatever size aircraft you want to bring, turbine, Warbird, gas, foam, anything you want to bring, and then I'll plan on being there bringing some models for the raffles, and those proceeds will help, the two clubs that really put in a lot of money to put this thing together. So, it'll be a great time, and we're hoping this is the type of event. This will be the first time Motion's really, going all out to sponsor something, and we'd love it. to be something that takes on, and we get, another mini Joe Nall, another Jet Jam, another event that hopefully will, live on. And, 10 years from now, we'll talk about, still going to this event like we do, because the one thing about the hobby, which is awesome, are the events. Just in my 6 years, I've been to events literally all over the world: Australia, Asia, Europe, US, Canada. And the events are the most fun. It's fun to just get out there with like-minded people, because I don't know if you're like me, but when I have a family party or a friend party, nobody wants to talk about airplanes.
Right.
People all talking about their boring accounting jobs. I'm like, hey, man, I get to play with it. Nobody wants to hear it, So I don't get a chance to talk about this stuff. So whenever I go to events, it's awesome to just be able to sit back and, and meet people. And, just that's what this hobby's all about. I still think it's, I'd rather be doing this than playing golf on a on a nice day outside. Like, I never thought I'd find a hobby like this, and the shows are really what does it. So again, jolly good flying. If you can make it, come on out. It's well worth the drive to Georgia. I think we got a great location. We've got, obviously, the weather's probably going to be super hot because it's Georgia at the end of August, but it should be great. It should just be a great time. Get a lot of flying in and just a lot of fun. We're on a real municipal airport, and it's cool.
I can't wait to be there. I know it'll be a good time. And Joe Nall, you guys were so hospitable to us. I can't wait to be spending the weekend with you. Me and Kevin Farros, he's probably in the chat somewhere. We're both going to drive up there for the weekend, and I just can't wait to be there. And I hope to see a lot of you guys there and meet you in person. I know it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, Wes, I already told you can fly anything I got there.
Yeah.
And what I hope to have done by the time I get there is the ProFly OV10 Bronco.
Oh.
I'm still waiting on motors and retracts, because we have our branded Admiral motors coming, and our X-Wave retracts, which you can see on the product page. I'm still waiting for them to arrive to me, so I just haven't been able to finish that darn build yet. It's sitting there with all the servos in. Literally, I just got to slap those electronics on, and I could get out and maiden it, but I'd love to have you down there flying that, as well as some other things. And the next balsa model, aside from the Fairchild from Black Horse, that I'm going to be doing is a PC-9. So we're going to make a video on that as well. And I'm excited to fly that one. That'll be a nice aerobatic balsa model. And again, it's all new to me. Like ARFs or, balsa just was something I never got a chance to experience in my old past, and even at the start here in Motion. So you can I'm learning it as I go, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I always enjoyed seeing them when I went to shows. Never thought I'd have a chance to put these together and fly them, but now, like, that Fairchild I love looking at that thing because it just looks so different. You saw our tent at Joe Nall, to see all the free wing jets, which immediately look awesome, and the foam, but when that thing was just sitting there, when we brought that out in the middle of the week, it sort of just changed the whole scope of our product line. It's like, whoa, finally something that we could walk up to the main line at Joe Nall, and it'll sit there and look like it fits in.
Yeah.
And, it's something that I think everybody eventually, I see a lot of people saying building's dead, or, the hobby's dying. I don't think so. I think, there's a to opening up one of these free wing boxes and being able to fly in an hour, but the beauty of opening one of these kits and taking your time over a couple days, throw Top Gun on in the background or Battle of Britain, watch a movie while you're gluing in your hinges. Like, there's a beauty to that, and I've been enjoying doing the ProFly model, and I'm really excited now for more of these balsa builds.
Yeah, I've had my eye hard on the what the heck is it, the Stork.
The storage.
I've looked at that several times, and then the what's the big British plane? The Buffalo.
The Lysander.
The Lysander.
Yeah, that one.
That was the only one. It was between the Fairchild for me and that Lysander. I think I wanted that one a little more than the Fairchild, but the Fairchild looks.
Yeah, and I've had the opportunity to fly the Fairchild, which thank you very much for that. The plane flew great and just beautiful looking, and I loved that we put the GoPro inside of it and got to show the guys what it looked like flying around from the inside. That was too cool.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't get over it.
Without you, that at Jonal, that thing wasn't gonna fly because you saw what happened to me. So I had a guy at my club build it, and he left his Futaba radio there after he made it, and he had to leave, and I didn't get a chance to do it. But I've never played with a Futaba radio, so I remember talking to you about it. And then I think I had you made it first off that radio, and he didn't. I guess he flies with no expo, he flies with no rate, so it was
all over the place. I was like, oh my gosh, the elevator throw was like 90 degrees up and down on it.
Take the sticks from me, like I took it off, and it was all over the place. I think I handed you the sticks that first flight, and we filmed that one. Yeah. That was just to. I'm like, whoa, this is all over the place. And I got really nervous because the last thing I wanted to do was, bash this beautiful plane. And you brought it in perfectly.
And then I carried it back to the tent and changed it over to, I had a Spectrum 8 channel radio there. Put a Spectrum in it, hooked it up on your radio, and you were off flying.
Yeah, that was awesome. No. That was awesome.
Teamwork.
I wouldn't have flown
there. That's part of this hobby.
That's right. Teamwork.
Yeah, that's the other thing I love about going to events too. Is just everybody's so helpful. It's like you could easily see on social media how things can get carried away in conversations, and everything seems a little negative. But when you go to these events, man, everybody's so positive. Everybody just wants to help everybody fly, and it's truly awesome.
It is. All right.
Really good.
Let's get another entry going here. Guys, make sure you fast forward to the current time in the video. I see some guys that are like, he hasn't even finished the question by the time it's answered. Make sure your video is up to speed also. I can see that being a problem for a lot of guys. If for some reason you're a little behind. And we're trying to keep this as fair as possible, guys. At the end of the day, this is just for fun. I'm trying to be fair with it. I'm not picking favorites or nothing.
It's for a Panther, buddy. You've eliminated fun when you put a
I eliminated the fun. They're like, no fun. We're gonna be. Give me that airplane.
Model with free shipping. I mean, come on.
All right, we are at the point. I'm going to ask the question. Answer in the comments. Here it goes. Only flown one time on November 2nd, 1947. The Hughes H-4 Hercules was the largest airplane of its time.
Nice.
What is this airplane's nickname?
Oh, man.
That was an easy one. Come on, somebody.
Even I know that one. Now, that would be a hell of a model, too.
It would be.
That would be a hell of a Black Horse model.
Pause, A, B, spin the wheel. Do or die, help me. So it's funny, we're a couple seconds behind everybody.
Charles R.C.
Charles R.C. Got it. Spruce Goose.
I feel like everybody who's answered the questions don't have pictures. It's like this is their first time on the show.
Right, and it might be. Hey, we're all about being fair here. Whoever wins is who wins.
I just see the one finger typers all mad, like
S-P-R. How do we S-P?
Damn! Remember, spelling doesn't matter. Just throw it up there.
Just get it in there. And we'll have a couple more entries.
Speed, not accurate.
Right. But anyway, it's cool, guys.
Speed, not accuracy.
Right, speed, not accuracy on this one. But that's what somebody's lucky 13.
And gotta drop it. That's what she said.
Right, sometimes, yeah. I mean, we're trying to do this for fun. I hope everybody gets along with it. We tried to think of different ways to do it. I could have always entered it.
The family hour's over. Kids should be in bed now. Now we're going crazy. After 9.
The guy's dang tablet. Fat fingers. Oh. Well, we'll have a couple more entries tonight, guys. Don't worry. So anyway, I mean, I've had a lot of fun, like I said, and getting you guys at events and everything else. You've always been super hospitable. Customer service lately, you're on point. I know there's been some issues with some airplanes lately, but I also have heard that you've been replacing anything that's had any issues. I have to say, even personal experience, anytime I've ever had an issue with any part, Motion's always stood behind any other product. I had an airplane come in with a bad motor. Y'all were like, sure, here it comes. Boom, 2 days later, a new motor was here. I mean, I don't know another company that stands behind their product as well as Motion RC. And I want guys to know that from the boozer. I stand behind you guys every day. I mean, you guys are killing it out there.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it, and our customer service team, they're hobbyists. You know, they've been doing this a long time. They've been on the other end of it. I mean, Motion, we're 7 years old now, and it's like, you know, a lot of the guys on our customer service team have been doing this way longer than Motion's existed. So, you know, they've been on the other side of it. They know what people have expected from other companies in the past, and you know, they want to do right by. I mean, we can't help everybody. We wish we could. You know, sometimes it's, you know, things are just out of our control there. But you know, when it comes to like the F-18, we had the TSB that just came out. I mean, this is stuff that, you know, Motion and Freewing have been doing since the dawn of time. You know, nobody at Motion wants to see you crash your plane due to something that's the plane fault, and we want to get everything fixed as quickly as possible. You know, sometimes people don't even know an issue exists. You know, I remember one of the first models that came out when I started working here late 2017 was the BAE Hawk, and there was a little piece that, you know, this was me being here about 2 months in. That model came out. I think I started September. That model came out in November. And there was this little plastic piece that just wasn't glued into like the first batch. Nobody would have known it, you know, but like before it even caused a problem, you know, my bosses told me, hey, we found this problem, you know, factory found it, they forgot to do it, we're sending all these pieces out to everybody. And it was like, wait, what? You know, that's awesome. Right. Like, you know, definitely. And just gave everybody a little instruction sheet, and you know, and that's the type of stuff we try to do, and we hope that people, you know, appreciate that. And when push comes to shove, when you're looking at two models of similar size or value, and you know, I hope people sometimes, I feel, always jump to price, but look at what else you get sometimes, you know? Like, I mean, price isn't always everything. You know, I think when it comes and you look at a model, be like, if I crash this, who's going to have my back? And, you know, we'd like to say that Motion, for the most part, we will. You know, like, yeah. You know, we'd rather see you fly. You know, we don't make things to crash on purpose. You know, like, that's just not, you know, that's not what we're trying to do. People are going to crash on their own, you know, like, we all do. So, you know, we're not trying to facilitate that, but, you know, we want to be there to help you guys out, to help everybody out, because we've seen, you know, where it started, at least with other companies.
We know what people want, you know, like you said, James. I mean, I'm in a car. Think about this, all you listeners out there. I'm in a car, in a taxi, in China, about 1,000 kilometers away from the base. You know, I'm on a Skype, praying that my signal holds so that I can talk to you all about airplanes. Who else? What other company? Other RC company or beyond RC? Look at your cell phone. Look at any consumer good in your home. Look at your kids, I don't know, their iPads. Do you know the guy who's leading the development for any of those other products? Does he call you? Does he talk to you on forums? Does he, you know, are there other companies out there that do so much to try and interface with their customer family and call them customer family and mean it? I don't think so. I can't think of many other enterprises that do what we do to the extent that we do. Now, as James said, we're not perfect. We've never promised perfection. What we have promised is that we don't run into problems. And I face problems and challenges on the development side of our products every day. The question is not, will there be a problem today? The question is, how many problems will we receive and how many challenges will we overcome? You know, so that's sort of our attitude on it, and I think James put that very well. We hope that when customers are considering giving us the opportunity to do their business, we hope that they know that when they're doing so, they're going to have access to the people who are here on the ground. James is out flying these things. We've got customer service people who've been in the hobby for 30 plus years, 40 years in Martin's case. Actually, I think 50 years.
Hey, don't age them like that.
I know, you're right. 20 years. And you know, we've got people who are here on the ground in China working out of these factories. So,
Did we lose him?
Did we lose him?
And support.
No, he's there.
I think we're losing him.
In any case, I'm going to stop there.
It's all good, Alpha. Thank you so much, Alpha, for being here with us tonight. I mean, we really do appreciate it. I know you're across the world from us tonight. We're all getting ready to go to bed. He's getting ready to go to work.
Yeah, this is the best part.
Right.
But also, and add to it too, just the customer family as well. Like, I mean, you know, I see a lot of people say, "Oh, Motion RC fanboys," but you know, I mean, you go to Hobby Squawk and you're getting answers from, you know, our customers that are in there giving up their time, and my goodness, guys like George Baker and Steve Hodges and Jeremy Salt and so many people, Tony Accurso. I mean, so many people. Victor Chiching, I could name, if I forget your name, you know, just so many people on these forums that have been there since the start of this company, way before me, you know. And
we've got Tony and Evelyn and Patrick, and I mean, just sort of people who, from the very first day to all the way to yesterday, people who come in and want to be part of the family. And I think I'll be the first one to say, I don't think any of our core customer family are fanboys. That term implies that they're subjective. And one thing I really appreciate about the blog and other forums and the people that call in and that we're able to interface with is I never get the sense that people are holding back. If they love it, they love it. You know, great. Tell us. If they don't love it, they don't love it. That's great too. Tell us too. We've gotten feedback from people on every end of the spectrum, and that's why I think we've grown, because we've been responsive to feedback. Now, it doesn't work if we don't get feedback. So we say, if you hate it, if it's absolutely the worst plane you've ever bought, if it's the worst battery you've ever tried, if the value is upside down, call us and let us know. We want that feedback, and I don't think the negative, at least the negative aspect of fanboy really applies. People are here, we got 80 people in this chat right now on a Sunday night who just want to talk about airplanes and be a part of a company that's trying to have fun with this. So,
right.
So that's my way of saying to people like you, Wes, and Lori, who are taking time and assets to talk to the hobby in this way, to everyone, people who help us with manuals, with media, early reviews, guys like Jora. It's a bit of a family effort, which again, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it really is one of the best parts of what we do. That we do it alongside y'all.
Right.
So thank you.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
It really is.
Well,
it really is awesome.
Let me ask you guys this. Let's get one more entry for this airplane, and then what do you think we draw for the winner? And then I've got 2 other guests that were wanting to come on tonight, if you guys don't mind. I think we'll start getting it all transitioned here, if you're good with it, guys.
Yeah, man.
So I hope everybody enjoyed getting to see you guys in the show tonight. You can stick around for a minute. Let's wait for you, and let's see who wins, huh? You wanna?
Yeah, I gotta see this.
All right, so let me see here.
You're doing one more question, and then you're gonna do the drawing?
Okay. This one's a good one.
Make it a hard one.
This one's a good one for this. Let's just say for right now. Let's see here. Everybody get ready. Get your things sped back up. Get in this. This is your last entry for the show. Make sure you've fast forwarded the video to right now, because I see a lot of people commenting that it's like, mine's behind. I can't help you there. I'm trying as hard as I can to make this as fair as possible, guys. Only so much I can do. Here we go. Apollo 11 was the first mission to land on the moon. What day did they actually land on the moon? It's been all over the news this week, so somebody's got to get it right. Apollo 11. 11. I have to look too. I can't remember now. There we go. Couldn't remember. Yep. Somebody's got it right there. Dave Kowalski, I think, is the one that got it right.
Kitty Hawk?
Hey, Dave.
Everybody agree? He's got the year, he's got the date in there.
Yes.
Dave Kowalski? Yep, Dave Kowalski.
He popped up first on mine.
We're calling you
Dave
the winner of...
Dave could fly to your house and pick that plane up. You don't even have to mail
I
it.
could throw it to him.
He'll just no, he'll actually fly and pick it up.
Oh yeah, he's got an
I
airplane.
just saw it as
Well, hey.
I think he just flew and was near Fifi, or he was by. I saw on his Facebook. He flew to meet an aircraft, to see an aircraft before it left for Oshkosh, because I think this weekend is Oshkosh. Am I wrong
No,
about
I think
that?
you're correct, actually.
I haven't actually. Now I know what I'm going to do the rest of my night is search YouTube videos of what's going on at Oshkosh.
Right, it's going to be crazy. So, Lori's writing the last name, throwing it in the hat. We're going to get the hat over here. I'm not going to look. It's going to be as fair as possible here on the winning.
If it's not a Motion RC hat, it doesn't count.
Somebody's never sent me one, so...
Well, it's not Motion
Oh.
You want me to...
Use that over there, unless you have vodka
You want me
in
to
it
put
or
my
something.
coffee cup? Here, you put it in the coffee cup. I could put it in my other hat that came free with one of my last airplanes, but I'm just saying.
I kind of think that Crusader is familiar.
I'm joking, I'm joking. Okay, Lori's going to hold the hat. Are everybody ready? This is in all fairness. I cannot see whose name I am drawing.
What? Is she holding it over your
I
head?
don't know where
She
it
gonna-
is.
I thought she's just gonna drop them all. Whatever one sticks to your head.
Where the heck are you? There. Okay, here we go. Well, darn, my video was fast forwarding. Here we go. I got one in my hand.
Let's do it.
Monkey
James Berlin.
Monkey Bomber 36. Monkey Bomber 36. There you go. Top view me, Lori, so I can hold it up there.
But now, does that person still does he have to show
Heck yeah,
himself?
you got to show yourself. This is all about being
You're not
here to
in-
win. Come on.
Still in the chat. You know, Dave Kowalski might win because he's not leaving the chat all night.
Yeah.
Top view.
Monkey Bomber 36. Monkey Bomber 36. I see him.
Monkey Bomber 36 exists.
I see him.
There he is.
Monkey Bomber 36. Where are you from, brother? U.S., Canada. Hopefully you say U.S.
From that costs $450.
Right. I just don't want to pay $450 shipping this thing. Where are you from?
He's in Dubai.
Dubai, probably. Yeah.
Alpha's like he's the cab driver I'm driving with. He's been in the giving him the answers.
Oh. Did he ever answer where he's from? Lori, just watch it. Tell us where you're from, Monkey. Monkey Bomber. You better be here every week now. You're a new boozer here. Fort Wayne, Indiana. I can handle that.
There we go.
I can handle that.
Nice. If you can,
the A10's fly out of it.
I am going to throw it out there real quick. Monkey Bomber, can you reach out to me either on Facebook, Private Messenger, or Instagram, wherever you want, so that I can get a hold of you and talk to you about where to ship this airplane to, please. I'm just going to throw that out there real quick so we can get that done.
No, just put all your real good information right
just
there and for all.
put it up here
like
on
your
the,
address.
yes.
Don't worry, no Russian hackers in here. You'll be all right.
Yeah, just all of it there. But yeah, no, reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Mary Boozer, RC, Mary Boozer. I'm on all of them. Private message me and we'll get this airplane out to you. Guys, if y'all didn't get to see it earlier, we top viewing. I actually did get in there and paint it today too, so it is all weathered and airbrushed. It's got all the rivets on it.
I'll message us on Instagram.
And it's up to him whether he wants to wait for Papa Dots to get back so he can sign his name. I'm going to try and get the canopy off without breaking this. I tell you what, this has the best magnets I've ever seen, but we did also do the inside of it.
Oh, nice.
So, and it's up to him if he wants to wait for Papa to get here to re-sign it. So just throwing that out there. We did that on the last giveaway plane. We'll definitely do it again for this one. So it's all up to him.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
Thank you again, James. Thank you again, Alpha, for coming on the show. We've got some more special
This
guests
won't be.
that want to come in.
That's not the last time we do it.
Oh, definitely not. I definitely want to have you guys on again. I've had a lot of fun tonight.
Totally. Well, I want to do it live maybe the next time at the Jolly Good Fly-In if we could get an internet connection.
I definitely will.
Go.
I'll bring the cameras, man. If we can figure out a way to get the internet out there, we can do it.
Use your phone.
Hotspot will probably
Yeah,
work.
definitely. Bring the laptops and just tear it up. So
I've hotspotted from Joe Nall. I mean, it might be a little, pixelated.
right, it may not
but
be perfect, and I actually just unlocked cell phone live chat going live on cell phone again. So I can actually go live on YouTube through my phone now that I've got 1,000 subs.
You unlock Super Chat,
Yeah,
right?
Super Chat too. Guys, I saw some Super Chats earlier. I'm sorry, with all the guests on, I wasn't able to shout them out the whole time. I wanted to be able to focus on the guys. I thank y'all very, very much for that. It is awesome to finally have it. And I do thank you very much for sending them to us. The Boozer very much appreciates it. It's how he affords to buy these airplanes. It's awesome. I do appreciate it a lot, guys. So, Lori said we did have another question before we lose you.
It's more for James, but so Dennis Farley wants to know if you're going to be in Grapevine in the fall.
Dennis Farley wants to know if you're going to be in Grapevine.
I am not sure if I'll make it. I'll be able to make it to Grapevine. I mean, again, I got 3 little kids, 3, 5, and 7, and leaving for each show. I have to be choosy about where I can go and the times. We have our own show coming up for one weekend, then we're going to be doing All in the Fall again, which is right at the end of September, early October. So probably not going to be able to make it out to Grapevine, but still want to support that show. I know they got canceled out last year, which stunk. So we still would love to support it as Motion, but physically speaking, I probably won't be able to get out there. My wife will kill me if I leave for another weekend. These long weekends, it's tough when you got little ones.
So, yeah, I understand, man. It's crazy, and even getting up there for you guys, it happened to just work out good. I had started a new job, and I have that whole weekend off already. So I was like, yes, I can go. Because I didn't know when you had invited me out to Jolly Good at first. I didn't know if I was going to make it or not, and now I get to come. So that's going to be so awesome, man. I'm looking so forward to it, getting together with you guys. So, like I said, James, thanks for being on the show tonight.
It'll be awesome, man. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely head out, say hello to. Well, you have a surprise guest coming. So
they don't have to be a complete surprise, but hopefully they're still good to come in. It ended up being longer than I was expecting, but when the conversation's good and it's rolling along, it's just hard not to keep talking and chatting. But I can't wait to have you back on the show, man. I've had a lot of fun tonight, and thank you guys. I mean, there's not any other company out there that's been coming and hanging out with the Boozers. So let me rephrase that. There was one. I'm sorry, Andy. But I mean, it's cool to have the product designer here. It is just crazy that he'd come in from China to hang out with some guys in their hobby room in Florida for the weekend. So
well, again, he had an hour and a half cab ride. So what else was he gonna do?
But it was still cool.
you didn't see. Is he still there? Is Alpha still here?
Hey, Alpha.
I'm here.
Alpha needs some closing, some parting words. Give the floor to Alpha for a little bit.
Parting words. 3 things. 1, Boozers, y'all are the best. Thank you for all that you do for the hobby. 2, our customers are also the best. Our people are fanboys. They're fair boys. They give it to us straight. We love it. We appreciate each and every one of you. 3rd thing, I'm going to give another hint.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Mark. Do you want it? Yeah, sure. I think go for it, man. It's Sunday night.
You know what? We'll do this. The next time we're on with the Boozers, we'll drop a sizable bit of information. So, Boozers, I want to help y'all out. If any of y'all haven't yet subscribed or haven't yet done whatever you need to do to become a part of the Boozer family, please do so. We love this. This is my first time on the show, and we're going to do everything we can to make this happen again. So we'll do it that way. Next time we're on, let's grow this community bigger. Let's get more people jumping in. Let's get our Google fingers and our iPad fat fingers faster to answer these questions. And And maybe as part of the next giveaway, we'll do something special and that'll include a good bit of information on one of the many products coming from Motion.
Thank you, and thank you very much for even thinking about us that way. It's just awesome, Alpha, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on and hang out with us tonight. I mean, this has been phenomenal. It's just been an amazing experience.
You guys are killing it, man. I have to say, your production value is awesome. I don't always get a chance to watch every show live on Sunday nights because, again, working full-time RC during the week, it's hard to tell to my wife on Sunday night that, I'm going to go, watch an RC podcast. Like, it's a tough sell.
She's like, no, you're taking tonight and you're coming in here and hanging out with your family. Yeah. I understand. And
tonight, it's like, I have to do this tonight. Don't get mad.
I really do thank you, James, like I said, for taking the time out and doing this. It's awesome.
Speaking of which, major merits to Lori. I mean, she talk about a wife of the century, right? I mean,
if it wasn't for Lori,
oh yeah, I'd be lost without Lori. She runs all the graphic designing portion of this and the editing. I'd be completely lost. You guys saw what I was like when it started. Those were my editing skills, and then Lori came in, and I mean, we went from like that in our editing skills and everything. So
she leveled up.
Oh yeah.
Well, now I'm excited. She's got your super chat. You guys will be doing great. I mean, if you could, like I said, anybody who's doing this, trying to provide information the way you guys are doing on your own time, you deserve to make money for doing that. And if you could start funding your hobby through it, that's awesome.
It would be.
I mean, who's better than you?
That's the whole goal, guys. Is to be able to make it to where this thing kind of supports itself, and we get to have fun and hang out with our community. Give back to them from time to time, kind of like this airplane and the last airplane. We try and do it as fairly as possible. I'm sorry if some of you guys didn't think it was fair tonight. I thought it was very fair. I love it. I love everything to do in the hobby.
I promise this. Next time we come on, we'll provide the the prize, and we'll make it
work.
Really
I would love that.
We'll make it work for a while.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I just cost Alpha some money.
There you go.
Because he's going to buy
it. There you go. I like the sound of that. Well, guys, like I said, thank y'all for coming on the show. We're going to get it swapped out now. I appreciate it so much. And we're going to bring on our other special guests here. I guess I can go on and throw it out there. It's going to be GBLynden and Pilot Ryan are both going to be coming on the show now to talk a little bit about their Toss and Boss airplanes and the experiences they've had. It's been a wonderful time. Guys, thank y'all so much. I'd love to bring everybody all at one time, but I think we'd have a hard time talking over each other. And the video feed gets weird when you get 5 signals. So
it's all good, brother.
Man, thank y'all. Like I said,
have fun, guys. I'm signing off.
Yeah.
And man, Alpha, talk to you tomorrow. Wesley, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow as well. And everybody in the chat, we'll see you soon. And come out to the Jolly Good Flying. And just happy flying, everybody.
Guys, definitely.
See you later.
Thank you, James, for coming. 2, 1. All right, we're going to swap it out and get everybody changed around here, guys. You've got me on the screen for a minute. I congratulate our new owner of the beautiful Panther. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know if you got to actually see I did the wings too. So are we full screen on me right now, Lori? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So I did the Panther's wings. I'm going to actually stand up for a second and hold this while she's getting the other guys into the chat. There you go. So I did airbrush the wings and the tail and everything else. It's been riveted. I hope you guys have been really enjoying the show. We've been trying really hard to make some really amazing stuff going on here lately. It is cool. I hope that the audience can't hear that. Okay. Anyway, if you only knew what's going on in my ears sometimes, guys. It's crazy. Oh, it's awesome, and I really do appreciate Motion coming in tonight. I mean, it was crazy. So, okay, do we got our guests on the line? Pilot Ryan, answer your Skype call.
Pilot Ryan's here. I'm just trying
okay. Never mind. Anyway, it's cool, guys. Like I said, I'll go back to the 64s. I know we kind of went off of that because we were talking about all the other Motion RC products, but the 64 millimeter planes, those guys that have been watching along this week, are a great jumping off and starting point in the aircrafts. They're not near as expensive, so you can get into these very easily. To start kind of honing your skills, you've done the Warbird thing, you're ready to do jets. I think it's a great place to start warming up. You don't have so much money tied up in these airplanes. Just to start learning if you do dink it. I'll tell you one other thing is, man, they're pretty sturdy. The MiG's been crashed and the Lippish has been nosedived, and they're both here on the table and still looking good. So anyway, Laura said we need just a few more minutes. Still getting the guys in. I've been really excited about everything going on the channel. I want to also say a personal thank you to all you guys that have stuck in with us tonight. Thank you for being subscribers and loyal guys to us. The Boozers channel has grown astronomically over the last few weeks, and it's a surreal experience getting to see how everything's happened and how it's gone, and it's pretty crazy. It's crazy. Captain Photon's in here tonight. I see him too. Sorry, I've been crazy. Rick, RC Jet Dude's in here. Shout out a couple people. I've seen Jeff's Customs RC. He's been sending a couple guys my way lately if he's in here. You guys that are here every week, I wish I could just go down the list and shout every one of you out, because I mean, it's becoming like a little family here on the Merry Boozers channel, to where I see you guys in Dave's, and I see you guys in Pilot Ryan's, and then I see you here, and it's kind of becoming like a little RC family, and I can't wait to start meeting more of you guys throughout the fly-ins that we're going to go to around the country and things over time. I really do hope that one day I get to meet each and every one of you in person. It's just a crazy thing. Here every week, Boozers. I see you, Wreckham Roy. Man, it's crazy. Lee Davidson. Oh, you didn't get to see who won. What the heck, man? Format is amazing. Thank you, Hal Roofner. Jet Dude. Anyway, guys, it's crazy. I'm sorry we're getting everything set up still. Did you get it, Lori?
Just get his headphones on. I think we'll be good.
Everybody's just getting set up here. We're still waiting just a few more minutes for our other special guest tonight. I love the fact that we get to get all these guys in and talk about it. Just to shout it out, GBLyndens. He's got a YouTube channel. If you haven't seen him, definitely go over there and subscribe to that guy. He has got videos after videos after videos. He's got awesome content over there. I had the pleasure of talking to him a little bit, and I mean, he's a very knowledgeable guy on RC stuff. It's really cool. Unloading the race bikes. The Papa can destroy one of these little jets into a million pieces. We were at Joe Dahl, and we actually had the MiG and the F-86, and we're flying them real good. And Papa got backwards one day. He went into the sun, couldn't see it, and it came out nosediving. And I mean, it hit and exploded. You can kill one. And funny enough, Wayne 360, I believe is his thing, is 630. There we go. He actually has a lot of the parts of that airplane because I sent them to him as a thank you thing. But anyway, Lori has given me the thumbs up. I think we're ready to go. Let's get these guys in here and save me, because I'm over here trying to figure out what's going on. So welcome to the channel, Pilot Ryan and GBLynden.
What's you're doing a double header tonight, Wesley.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
I tried to message you like I was like, keep them on. What are you doing? Keep them on, man. It's cool. These guys see me plenty.
I know, but I wanted to get you and GB on together.
No, cool, man.
Thought it would be
I'm
cool.
always glad to oblige, man.
You know, I'm trying to kind of make this the place where these guys can come hang out, see all their fellow YouTubers. I know that's kind of what you're doing too, but it's just, I don't think there's any problem in bouncing off of each other, guys. We need to help each other where we can and hang out on each other's channels. So, GB, you're the new face to our little community as far as coming on the live show. Why don't you tell the guys about yourself and what your channel
How's it going,
is?
guys? Yeah, I pretty much have done everything, for the most part, everything from RC planes started a lot with the UMX microplanes. That's pretty much been my thing. I've recently grown into some big boy EDF jets, and made in the A4 Skyhawk yesterday, so that was awesome. Great jet, guys. Again, sorry about that landing. I completely screwed that up. It was definitely pilot error.
It happens to everybody. You know, I've seen that A4 fly a couple times. RC Jet Dude, he's actually in here tonight, I think. I've seen him fly the pants off of his, and it's like any other thing.
Yeah.
It'll just take you a little while to get used to flying the airplane, I think.
Totally. Yeah, and it was a lot faster than, read on the forums that a lot of people thought, it's not that fast. It still scoots just. In fact, I plan on uploading a clip of my GoPro footage to show, because when John's zooming, shout out to John, my cameraman, when he's zooming in and out, so you can't really get a good perspective of the speed. It's not slow, guys, at all.
Right.
And oh, awesome.
No, it does. And I have had my eyes on that A4 for quite a while. I mean, it is one sweet-looking airplane. Ryan, you've got one, too,
Push
don't
that
you?
button, man.
Freewing
Yeah.
A4, absolutely custom, and I won't be getting rid of it. I put lights on it. I've got some of those wing sequencers, so when the gear go down, I've got a landing light pops on the wing, and weathered that one a little bit, actually, and it's a magical flying. And anybody wants to prime the pump on pulling the trigger for an A4, watch some of it's a Skymaster A4. It's a big turbine model. Bigger, it presents better, it's easier to watch the guys land those things. It's got the neatest angle of attack on approach that you can just hold that nose up about 15-20 degrees, no steeper than that, or you'll knock your tanks off or lose your all your airspeed. But those things settle in really magical, and you look at the landing gear, they're kind of tall and they're kind of in the middle, but amazingly that plane really stays up on its feet pretty well. Mike flies his in some stupid wind. It just always knocks me out when I see him doing that. So yeah, the Freewing A4 is magical aircraft. I like it.
And not to get off the subject of Tossin' Boss Week here, guys, but we know GB got to mate in his and get his video up today, so I mean it was cool to talk about it. Now GB, you've got another airplane sitting beside you there. What you got there?
Oh yeah. Well, I've got two. One, I've got this Thunder Chief plane. It's got a number of flights on it, and it's still basically mint. One thing I want to point out is that skid plate right there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look really close, you can see there's only a tiny bit of scratches, almost nothing. And this plane it's mint.
Right.
I've got it hanging. I showed you the picture of it earlier.
Right.
It was just hanging, and it looks like a model.
It is.
Just hanging from the ceiling.
That's the funny thing. I've got the Crusader here, and like we were talking with James a minute ago, this is something that, I mean, it doesn't look out of place sitting on your desk. I mean, it's so scaled.
It really doesn't.
And beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful plane. This was, I think, my first freelance. I've got a bunch since then, of course. But just the detail, I've flown a lot of other stuff with other brands, and just the detail on this. It was $98 at the time when I bought it, and I was sold absolutely on Motions, no doubt about that.
Right. And I know, Ryan, you've flown all of them under the moon. What do you think as far as the 64 millimeter line? What's your favorite of them?
Okay, that's a funny question, because I'm in a funny position where I have like personal preference, and then I have like flight kind of answers,
Right.
So they really serve a niche for guys, I think, who want to wet their whistle on EDFs, are easier to fly than others. Some of those first generation Tossin' Boss are holding it down, like the MiG-15. I think the F-86 is always going to kind of be a winner. out of the new ones, the Lipish has to take the cake for me on just because there's what you get. You get so much more wing, and so with that you get a wider flight envelope. But the fact that you're able to see stuff like an F105 and what's that school bus one called? The F8 Crusader. That's it.
Yeah.
You're able to
School
available
bus.
in foam. School bus. Well, you know what I mean. I love my Migu. So that we get to see these things is pretty fantastic. And what happens too is, as consumers, when we speak loudly on one of these, you never know if you might see it again. You know, if something wins really large in this Toss and Boss arena, who knows? Maybe you'll see it bigger, which is kind of exciting too. And to have a test subjects like, I mean, come on, look at the Lipish. How many of you had ever heard of that before?
Right.
I hadn't.
Everybody always did the rocket-powered thing, but I'd never seen the actual jet engine-powered one. And that was such a cool model that they were thinking out of the box so much on that Lipish. It's so awesome.
It's really cool. It had a hybrid undercarriage. It was going to have retractable landing gear instead of a dolly. I believe it was something about the engine was unique as well. Rather than a rocket, it was a jet engine. So it was going towards more reliable and not so death wish,
right?
You know, but it just never really got off the drawing board. You know, motion got a hold of it. But yeah, so what was the question?
Which one was your favorite as far as the 64s to fly? I hold mine up too.
My goodness. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's first favorite before they made all the new ones was probably the Panther. Seemed to win for a lot of guys' first EDF. Right. The Panther will still sing its praises. So we had a lot of fun with that. I was new to jets back when the 80 millimeter F86 was coming out, and we were getting into, you know, my first opportunities doing jets at all were with these kind of hand launch jobs or the fixed gear ones. So yeah, I got to tell you that the Panther for me was the most comfortable back at that time because it felt like it flew like the F86 as well, you know what
right.
I mean, flew like a Warbird, no tricks. The lifting bodies kind of catch you by surprise when you're not ready for it yet. Stuff like F-35s, because there was a FMS had a F-35, and of course Free Wing. We were doing the fixed gear ones kind of at the time. Anyhow, the Lipish I think has to win. If I was just gonna toss and boss one in the car, I think the Lipish has to win.
So GB, I saw you've got the Lipish too. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome, and I've made it. I normally don't make mods of any kinds to planes. I try and fly them stock, and that way I can tell people my sincere thoughts on them based on what they're going to get out of the box. I did a really minor mod. I added some fabric grip right there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your hands get sweaty, you get excited, or it's a hot day, whatever. You want to make sure that you've got a nice grip on it so you can really chuck this thing. You do not want to throw this, and not to offend anyone, do not throw it like a girl. Another thing that helps with that and the mod is adding kind of a launch switch. That way you've got a little up on the elevons that get it off the ground safely and not chunk it. Like I had one launch that I tried to do without John. Shout out to John VHRC, by the way. He's my cameraman, and he's helped me do a million hand launches with tons of stuff. It's awesome. But I did it without him, and I kind of munched the nose. The good thing about this is it's extremely durable, and it repaired really easy. So, but no, that launch switch and a little extra grip there will go a long, long way for reliable tosses. So I don't even sweat it now when I toss it.
If you actually could see mine up close, talking about durable, mine's been head first into the ground, full throttle, and it's still alive. I kind of mashed it all back out.
Oh yeah, I had to do the same.
And she's still going. So, and it wasn't the airplane's fault. It was just a dumb thumb and flew her into the dirt.
Let's. One thing I want to jump in and reiterate what GB said. The launch is a great idea. By default, I would always give it some up trim as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you know what? Especially for me, I didn't have anybody to launch them, and Mike, good by the way. Talk about throwing like a girl. He'll self-admit not throw very well. So I always say throw it like you if there were no power. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
There you go.
Throw it hard and quit screwing around. So, but a little bit of up trim, and I throw with my right hand. I'm not an underhander, so I got to be quick, Johnny. Quick on the sticks. So a little bit of up trim, like you say, on about every one of these, I think is mandatory for first flights. And if it's climbing like crazy, we'll back out of the power a little bit. But at least you're up in the air. And one other thing I was thinking while you were talking, people seem to want to cram the biggest battery in there they can. I think that's fine if that's all you have, but man, 3S packs are so inexpensive these days,
right.
And now you don't have to get them from overseas. We have reliable sources in the States, which is fantastic. So I would always kind of default to the nose heavy, which you guys who follow me know that's kind of what I do. So for me on these, that's like a 1600 or 1800. But by the time I work myself down to a 1300 or a 1000 or something, I really enjoyed them as light as I could fly them. And you would think you would get less flight time, but sometimes you would get more because it's easier on the plane and you're not in the throttle so hard. The heavier pack's great to help penetrate. Everybody likes penetration, right? So I had to.
That's what she said. It's okay. It's late. They're dedicated if they're in the show this late.
Somebody else will finish that one off. But I was always kind of surprised. Yeah, right. I mean, you can cram a 2200 in these things, and you're stuck flying them fast at that point. If you want to experience the flight envelope, creep it down to that lightweight pack, and they actually fly a lot bigger the lighter.
I really like the Lipish on a 1500 is where I've kind of found the sweet spot to be, and on the MiG I actually like it with
I like my 1550s. That's the best for me, and both of these actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I mean, I think I set my timer to 4 minutes on the Lippy with a 1500 in it, and I could probably go longer, but I safely fly it every time right there.
Yeah, I got one time with this a few months ago. My buddies just got into shout out to Odell.
Would you get 140 miles an hour as well?
No, I was just putting along, man. I was just he was getting his quad ready because he was going to try and doing that, and I was just putting along. I was like, oh man, you're going to kill my battery, but whatever. I was up high enough I could have glided down just fine anyway. So we saw where it went, and I brought it down, and it was like 25%. It was crazy.
That's fantastic.
Little shout out for the Threadbare.
Yeah, take that, Havoc.
Threadbare, thank you for the super chat. Motion RC, thank you for the super chat. I just want to throw that out there, guys. I am seeing it. Thank y'all very much for it. Lori says we actually have a question real quick. She was like, you stop talking for a second. Let me get a question in. Yes.
What battery do you like on the MiG?
What battery do we like on the MiG? I like the MiG personally on a 2200. Now, Ryan's saying he likes a lighter pack. For that airplane, personally, I really like it with a 2200 all the way forward in that one. I don't know if you know a little difference on that or not, Ryan, but that's where my personal preference would be on the MiG.
On the MiG, you like what battery?
2200 all the way forward. I like this one nose heavy on the MiG.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. My experience on the MiG and he seemed to like 1600 and 1800s, but he would also he's probably on his fourth one because he'd always get him in a flat spin screwing
I've
around.
heard a lot of people
So
have
the-
that issue.
So the 2200 is going to make that a little bit harder to do. You know, it's going to follow its nose almost no matter what you do.
Cool.
What you say sounds
Yeah,
good.
that's where I've liked mine at. So, and a couple guys that are just jumping in were asking who the other guy is tonight. This is GBLynden. Definitely check out his RC channel. Somebody throw a link to his channel down in the description. You guys, he's got a great channel. And if you like me and Ryan, you're gonna like GB's channel. Now he's on the list. Lori keeps moving y'all around.
I'm jumping them around a lot.
But anyway, yeah, that's who that is. Throw his link in there, somebody, and so that you guys can see him.
Yeah, no one knows my face. They just maybe know
Right.
my voice and hands, but that's
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
kind of neat to get to actually put the face to the name. Like he says, he doesn't show his face very often in the video, so woo.
No, it's all about the plane.
Right.
For me, focused on the plane. For me, I'm secondary. I'm just the vehicle to get it out
Right.
to people.
But
For me, it's all about FaceTime.
Pling. And you got to put your correct product
I'm
placement.
kidding.
Pling.
I'm kidding. I'm
Cling,
kidding.
cling, cling.
You know what, Wesley? I've been trying to super chat you for 5 minutes, but I don't know my Apple ID.
I see how it is. It's okay.
Hey,
Next time. It ain't that big a deal, man.
Oh, and by the way, congratulations
trying.
on 1,000.
Thank you.
That
And
is the
hardest
hardest
thing.
number to reach.
It is.
Once you hit that point, it's all downhill, brother.
You know, and it's crazy. GB, you've got, what is it, 25,000 subscribers now?
23,000 plus.
So you're getting
somewhere
close
in there.
on the milestone of 25,000.
But who's counting?
Yeah, who's counting, though? What are you doing over there? Don't be showing me your credit card information. If you get robbed, it's not my fault.
I'm trying to get. I keep trying every password I've ever used right now.
So,
Uh,
GB?
I'm trying to give you a super
Oh.
chat so you can give me a shout out since you got 1,000
That's
subs
right.
now. I need your
Shout
help.
out. Whoop, whoop. Ryan, they ought to know you
I
by
need
now.
your
That's
help.
Pilot Ryan, everybody. Always
Oh,
stealing my hat.
Shut. Whatever. Doppelganger.
So,
Um,
GB, I guess, we're going to get a little off of the Toss and Boss series now. I mean, thank you guys for answering the questions. Is there a specific airplane you've flown lately? Have you got the F-18 yet, GB?
Do not know. I've got a little bit of a size limitation with my car. I think the F-18 might work,
Uh-huh.
but you know, I'm pretty new in the big boy EDF jet game, so recently made in the L39.
Oh, man.
Check for that on my
one's sweet.
channel. I've got the BAE Hawk. Ryan actually recommended that to me for my first big boy EDF jet, and it was an excellent recommendation. That thing slows down great, handles well, tracks the way it taxis on the ground. The ground handling is fantastic, and I love freewing jets, man. Whether it's the Lippish, the F105, I love them.
Oh,
The
yeah.
detail, you know, the price, what you get for the price compared to the competition is just terrible. And I used to be literally a fanboy of the competition, or the big competition. Not naming names, but just when you get into the other vendors, Freewing in particular, it's not even
Right.
comparable.
I'm going to get the F-18 here in front of us so guys can see it. Ryan?
dude, it's all. Hey, I got mine back
his.
here.
I was just going to put it up here on the table real quick. Since we're talking about the big boy jets right now. Bonk, bonk. Let's bang it into everything, getting it in here. Whoa. GB, you got to get one of these. I'm telling you, man. You gotta get one.
It's awesome.
Unbelievable.
And I mean, listen, we can't. I mean, do what you want. You can't be afraid about talking about other companies, man. Everybody knows what other companies are, right? I mean, it's E-Flight and FMS are really kind of the best other choices. If you don't want to just throw your money away. So if size is a issue, or where you fly at, the FMS 70mm F-18 is not a bad choice either. And if you're intermediate, it may be a better choice than this one. Choices. I think it's a beautiful part of the hobby right now we're in.
It's true.
Look at where we are. I mean, we're getting to choose between, do I want to go 90? Do I want to go 70? What do I want next? You know, it's awesome.
Yes.
I like having the choices too. Both if you can. You see which one I have. I had to have the big one. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. I still haven't flown it yet.
That looks awesome, man.
But all custom painted out. And the A4, man, I have been drooling over that for a while. So, I mean, I definitely was digging your videos today of it. It looked like it flew great. I kind of figured that with the real tall landing gear like it is, if you turn too sharp with that, it was going to do what it did to you in that video, though, and tip over.
It did, but you know what? I was asking for a tip stall, and it kind of started to go into that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just mashed everything to the left before it hit the curb. So I don't think it would have tipped quite as much as it did, or as quickly as it did, if I hadn't mashed everything and screwed everything up before that. Like 100% pilot error on that landing.
You know what Steve Hodges said the other day on one of the shows, which I think was pretty brilliant. We were talking about Expo, and I think he puts, and I could be wrong, but I think he puts loads of Expo on his rudder to kind of help him from getting.
Yeah, I had 50%.
A lot of guys used to talk about limiting the throw, but sometimes you want that throw. Especially depending on the runway you're on, you got to turn it quick. Not quick, but all the way around. Wesley, you fly on a very similar size kind of runway as I do, honestly. So you have to turn these things around on a dime once you've already slowed down. So you want the throw there, but you don't want it there on rollout. So a lot of Expo, but still have the throw is not a bad idea. And if you're flying on, I got to see your video, GB, but if you're flying at a space challenged, that's a whole nother caliber of big cojones.
He's dodging light poles on his runway.
Yeah, man, you got to applaud that. So when you hit a curb every now and then, it's already ballsy to be flying there. So I'm giving you like big kudos right now.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I'm still trying to work out my super chat.
It's okay, Ryan. Don't worry about it. There's always next week, brother.
I know, too.
But you know,
they want me to set ones.
I do agree with you on the Expo on the rudder, though. I run about 35 on almost all of my airplanes, percent Expo for my rudder. It just seems nice to soften up that center part when you get kind of jerky on the ground. It really softens that out and
totally
fly right out with it. But you know, definitely on a lot of the airplanes. Now, I do cut my rudder rate down on a lot of my Warbirds because I've noticed that that actually gets me into trouble to have too much throw on the rudder when you go and you get it up and then it starts doing this. So I've found that really helps smooth it out by cutting my rudder rates down on a lot of my Warbirds to 60 or 70% on a lot of them. I don't know if y'all feel the same on that, but
yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry, man. What is it? I'm trying to give you money.
You can talk about it for a second.
Well, yeah, with the Warbirds or any kind of plane, really, if there's too much rudder, it can nose down. It can do all sorts of weird stuff. So, yeah, I pretty much try and follow what the book says and then adjust from there, usually. And with the jets, of course, I'm learning that in fact, I heard that from Captain Mike, is if you give most jets too much rudder, it'll nose right down anyhow. So you need that for the ground handling, especially in a tight space with curbs. But in the air, you don't necessarily need quite as much rudder.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, guys. I'm just a little blown away tonight. I've never had Super Chat before tonight, and it's just kind of an over.
Yeah, I'm seeing it in the corner of my eye there on my screen. I've got the tripod set up, and it's just blowing up with color.
It's kind of a surreal experience. It's something we've been working towards for a long time, and I do big thank you everybody that's supporting us right now. It's really a neat experience to be here, and I'm glad we're finally at the point to do it.
I told you guys, I told everybody last night to get ready, because you'd be ready.
I went
today.
all out, man. I knew that it was time to thank the audience. So, I mean, I went all out with the show. I'm so happy that GBLyndens on here. I mean, how cool is this, guys? And I plan on having him back many, many times, you know, when he gets a new airplane. I want it when, you know, when a new plane comes out and all three of us end up with one. Isn't it cool to get to sit here and go around the circle and say, hey, check out, I got mine, you got yours, what are you doing? Here's what I'm doing different, you know, that kind of stuff. Isn't that just neat to bounce off your brothers that are flying?
That would be awesome.
You know, not everybody has an RC club where they get to go talk to their buddies about what everybody's doing with their airplanes. And this is a way for those guys to kind of get the chatter of, oh, this is what I do a little different. This is how I set my stuff up. And the guys can come in here and comment along. And my headphone keeps breaking. Sorry, everybody. But that's kind of the goal with this whole thing is those guys that can't come out to a flying field every week to be able to come in and talk to us. Sorry.
Yeah, honestly, the show with James was awesome, and then hopefully that Ryan and I would continue that. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Did that work? Goodness sakes, man.
Nope.
God bless America. It's got all my credentials, but it wants me to verify. Like, what do you mean you're looking at all my stuff
Oh,
right
yeah,
now?
show it to all of us. What's
I'm
the
sorry.
social?
Yeah, no. Wait a minute, it might have worked.
Oh, if it doesn't, Ryan, like I said, thank you for the thought. I'm sure you'll get there.
I know, but I wanted to do
You'll
it.
get it figured out.
Son of a bitch.
Hey.
It's not letting me.
Buy a new plane, Wesley. Get Lori a
What I
sandwich.
missed.
What the heck?
They're all debating.
Get
on
me
what
a
to do
sandwich,
while
man. What are you
take a
talking
Right?
about?
Well, we're getting
Buy
us a new
plane or
airplane.
Take me on a nice date.
Taking Lori on a nice date. She deserves it.
Let me tell you, the first thing you're going to do with your super chat is give 30% to YouTube.
Yeah.
Because that's what
Yeah.
happens. And then Uncle Sam's next, but he won't hit you for a while. So, you know, there's the value menu at, the drive-thru, I'm sure. You get an extra apple pie
right.
and, call it
That's right.
anniversary or something.
I'm thinking I might have to get that new E-Flight F-16. I mean, that thing is looking sweet. I really want to get the F-22, the 64 millimeter from Motion.
Yeah, Motion, I got
Man,
you.
everybody keeps telling me that plane, it's one of those magic planes, that's just awesome to go fly.
Which
the
one?
F-22.
Oh, the big
No,
90?
I want the little one too. But yeah, I'd like them both.
Oh, yeah.
4S.
You guys have heard me say, like, the little one is how I knew the big one was for
Yeah.
me. I knew before I saw the 90 that it was for me because of what I have witnessed the little one do. And for a little 64 millimeter, that son of a gun is scale looking. Even if you keep the wheels on, it's got the best dressed up legs of probably any of those 64 millimeters if you do want to
Right.
go on wheels. And it'll still do the same wicked high alpha kind of stuff the big one will do. You remember a lot of guys were poo-pooing on the F-22 just on looks alone, but then a few guys get one in their hands and get to see what it can do and how wide that flight envelope is, and it's like, yeah, this thing is awesome,
Yeah.
no doubt. You know what? The F-22 is probably one of the only bigger jets that I would ever fly at like a parking lot, because you can get that son of a gun so slow that you can roll out in like 10 or 15 feet and not be worrying about curbs. It's absolutely sick.
Yeah, John VHRC, he's put up quite a few videos with that jet. I've been the cam on that, and yeah, that thing slows down great. It's an incredible jet. He told me before I flew any of my, I think I've flown my BAE Hawk, but nothing. And he's like, yeah, I would let you fly it. It's that easy to fly. So
It
he's
is.
flown everything. He's flown absolutely everything, including turbine jets.
So you gonna do the F-35 then, GBLynden, or what?
Oh yeah, I've got it. I've got a couple flights of it up.
Do you?
Yep.
Yeah.
it's a little faster because it's a little smaller.
Is. Yep, and I the recommendation for the CG that James and Alpha did, for me that was just a little too squirrely for you guys out there that have a little farther forward, and I found it to be a lot more stable. My second landing was a lot better than my first as a result, as well as taming down the ailerons. I knocked them down to 40% throws.
I know a lot of guys that
Nice.
knock down the aileron throw on that F-35.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I don't think I quite went down that far, and I think I actually moved holes on my ailerons here recently. If I remember right, I moved them in one. Is it in or out? I can't remember ever. To make it a little less sensitive, and then I was able to leave it at a full resolution on my controller.
There you go.
But yeah, I will agree it needs a little less aileron throw. Or if you can leave that there when you want to do ballistic rolls.
You know what? It still rolls really nice and tight, even at 40%.
Right.
It's crazy. Right. It's a really good jet. It's, and the other thing that I want to say about that and even the A4 is, I had a little wingtip scuff. There's plastic pieces under that paint, so you're not going to really do much damage to your wing if it's a little scuff. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and get a little paint. You're good to go. Brand new plane.
Yeah, I've been in love with that airplane. Ryan, you've definitely got to get another one. We've been playing with ours since they came out. Gosh, I think me and Ryan got them the week they came out. We unboxed it on your channel. I remember it actually. It was awesome. That was one of our first times playing around with this whole being on each other's channel things. It's crazy. We definitely got to do one night with all three of us. That would be so much fun. An unboxing with all three people. Be crazy.
That would be amazing.
So, well, did Ryan walk off? Did I miss him? Maybe
he has to go to the bathroom. I don't know.
Taking more than twice as playing with it. So, GB.
I love it. So what do you have in the pipeline? What do you have in the pipeline?
So I've got the F9F Starfighter coming up. It's setting off screen. If you've been watching the channel, I've got the 105mm HSD Super Viper from RC Jetworks, all pimped out. That one's going to be coming up. I want to shoot a build video of it when I do it, just because there's not a lot of videos out there on that airplane. So I really want to do that justice when I do it.
Yeah.
What else do I got? I got the Avanti S coming up on the channel.
Is that the red one or yellow?
I've got the yellow Avanti. It's the Freewing.
Okay.
What else do I have right now? Gosh, I've got the Freewing F15, the big one.
Nice.
I'm totally getting one.
I saw that fly last year at Warbirds over Wacom, and I didn't get the takeoff. And I'm not even sure if I got the landing, but I got some nice flight footage in between. So I combined the MiG-21, put that one in the middle, and then I put the F4 at the end because I had to use that footage. The thing looks so awesome. I even used the air brake.
I want the MiG so.
Hey Hal, what ask me again?
Did we miss something in the comment section?
I think so. I can't see the comments at all.
It says, what do you think, Ryan?
What do you think?
Yeah, about what?
Oh well, we'll figure it out in a minute.
Tom Sawyer.
What? I'm kind of sad that you got that beautiful looking A10 behind you, you turkey. Not letting nobody else in the country get one.
Is that new FMS V2, Ryan?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It does look awesome.
That looks awesome. I saw that clip you did with Alex.
That was sick, wasn't it? That little post on Insta and Facebook.
You can't do any better than that. I don't care.
That dude's something else. His kid was there flying this paint off of everything too. You know what? Right. Again, choices. So the proof will be in the pudding or the flying field or the grass or whatever. Choices once again. So, I mean, it's 8 inches smaller and it takes one pack instead of two. So it builds easy. Just so's the free wing one. I still have my big free wing one, and there's some stuff you can just look at and kind of know it's going to win on rugged. But I'm still super excited to see how this one feels in the air, honestly.
Right.
And I'm pretty up to see those twin 70 millimeter in runners in action. The one thing that is like the crazy benefit to those, I think, FMS setups is the now it's also their downfall. The plastic shrouds keep them really light, but they can get out around too, and then all of a sudden you'll have one not sound very good. So, but if they've got them installed right and nice and round and true, they do sound pretty good, and they're nice and light. So I haven't flown it yet. It was like 100 gazillion degrees yesterday, and so I didn't get it done. But
I'd really like
I cannot
to try.
wait.
Motion's got their smaller one too, the 64 millimeter A10, right?
Been on my radar too.
Right.
It looks
I've
good.
wanted to try.
I'll be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
I've seen guys really fly the dog fiddlings out of that one, and RC Jet Dude's boy has done really good things with his. First gen for me personally, it's like I feel like it's pre-motion away design. Right. I could be wrong.
It doesn't have the suspension retracts and the stuff that we've all come to expect out of the airplanes.
But for a small wet your whistle, cut your teeth on an A10 with eyes on moving upwards, I think that's your only option. The Dynam one is...
I can't in good faith. I can't in good faith.
Just don't.
The Dynam either.
I said it in the video. You gotta you gotta glue bits together that aren't meant to be glued together to give yourself a rigid airframe. It's nice and light. If you gotta have one that's small, go for the
free wing.
Free wing one. But if you got the flight chops, just get the one
big
of the
one.
big
Flies so good. Have you flown the big one, GB?
I've not, but at Warbird's over Whatcom, shout out to that. It's next week, or this next weekend. I should be out there getting tons of footage. I've got my camera just all charged up, multiple packs, and taking in all sorts of video. There was a guy out there year before flying his A10, and he flew the crap out of it, and it just looked insane. It was huge, looked great. The suspension was phenomenal. So my curiosity with that V2 FMS one is how good is the suspension? That's what I really want to know.
And I'm sure it's going to be killer.
Yeah.
Actually.
It looks, it appears to be pretty good. I think they've improved on some things. They learned some things on the first one. There's more room inside to, I think, handle batteries and stuff. It seemed to CG pretty good on a 5000 all the way in the front. According to the book. A lot of times I don't believe the book and will cheat forward a little. It was right at the fat of the cord. Tend to go a little forward of that. And then when it gives you a hard time, you'll know you're wrong and you got room to move it back. But, straight up and down. So anybody followed the free wing one knows that there was always a low with which stretch are the best ones and should you mix them or not. So this one is definitely more kind of straight up and down, kind of scale-ish out of the box. I think they might have even increased the nose wheel size on the FMS one over their first one. I'm not sure.
I've never flown the FMS, but I know on my free wing, I love the airplane. The only thing that I would say is a downfall to me is having to always change 2 packs every time. Killing 2 6S packs, you can go through some batteries quick with that airplane. It's awesome, and it's definitely like my go-to for when I'm like, I want to make everybody go ooh ah when I bring it out at the field. Everybody's like, oh my god, when you bring it out, because it's big.
That's it's like a benchmark in foam innovation. I mean, that's why I won't get rid of it. I've got an F-14 from Andy at JetWorks, and I got another, like a half of one.
Right.
They're one of those pieces too that it's like, man, it's
so
just kind
expensive,
of.
and there's so many parts, and
But it's an innovation benchmark.
Right.
I mean, you've got a swing wing here on this thing, and that's just killer. And that A10, as big as it is, that wing is hollow. It's got that matrix of what, carbon fiber and wood and aluminum.
right.
It's huge.
It's huge. I really was proud of the video we made for them. Actually, I showed, there was a picture on the website of the interior of that wing, and if we didn't have somebody like Alpha pointing these things out to us, we would kind of never know what was inside these things till we crashed them. But it's easy to be proud of the way design challenges are solved. And if the bigger A10 had a solid wing, I think it would be super heavy, and there wouldn't be room to make it as strong. So that's kind of the difference too, right? So I'm fairly certain this one is just a foam wing with like kind of traditional spars in it, rather locking kind of.
Right.
It's neat.
You pay more for it, but you get more airplane too, and it's always, it comes down to what's the guy's budget, what kind of car does he have. You know, GB was saying he doesn't have a really big car.
Yeah.
A10 would be really hard for you on the bigger size, whereas the FMS might be just right for you, because the free wing A10 is big.
Either one.
I'm die Elantra, so I'm not sure based on those the wing and the fuse specs, I'm not sure any A10 will fit in there, honestly.
The wing is very simple to take off of the A10, I will say that. It's
okay.
On
4
both
screws
of them.
and 2 ribbon connectors, and pow, they come off. Real easy.
Gotcha.
That's
My
right.
seats do fold down, so hey, that may be a good selling point.
The
right there.
F18's
I
the
get
same
one and
way.
it
It's
fits.
4 screws, wing pops off real easy too. You can even take the
Until
tail
you-
see
off.
that in James' video.
Until you bypass the
Right.
box, then
I've
you've
heard
got
of
wires.
doing that, but I don't know yet. I'm on the fence. I'm still on the fence on mine. I definitely I did pull the covers off and look at mine, and I did have the issue that they sent out the bulletin on it. Mine are definitely loose, so I've had to fix that.
Oh yeah, nice.
Give Brian a blue wrench.
I made sure that mine weren't. I actually replaced the elevator servos on the rebuild back here.
I thought about doing the high-tech ones because I've got some sitting here. Hush, dog. No. Oh my God. Sorry, everybody.
I mean,
Sorry. Hold on.
They're like
Mute me for a second or whatever. The
Which,
dog is going nuts. I'm sorry, everybody. Anyway, I'll let you talk for just a minute here.
okay. So there's a dog barking at Wesley's. Can you hear it?
Yep, I can.
Anyway, so easy to take the wings off of both those A10s. You have the new and improved wing connectors. A lot of guys, if you follow discussion on the quick connect deal, everybody was always a little bit concerned over the bullet style circuit board deal. Now it's a little bit more of a soft connect, which is, reportedly more reliable. So we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, fingers crossed, man. I cannot wait to see your video with that thing.
I can't either. Thanks so much, man. I'm really looking forward to getting that thing up in the air. I really want to take them both out and
pair them side by side, maybe.
A little bit, because I don't think we do enough of that.
I agree. It's hard to do. I mean, you've got only so much space in your rig, so much time.
Yeah, man. Time is the huge one.
I did the free wing versus E-Flight F-16, and I mean that video just exploded. And I think that guys are really looking for that honest review. I mean, the two airplanes side by side, show the differences. You don't got to pick one as the favorite or anything, but show them what's the difference. What do you get for your money over here versus over here?
Yeah. Since we're all video guys, that we can kind of angle it that way a little bit. And I think that, first of all, if you're a video guy, you're ultimately kind of a super fan of the hobby anyway, or you wouldn't.
Right.
And so with the choices choices thing, I've talked about this before. I came from magazine where it was like you were never in a million years going to compare one. They all had to stand on their own. You're worried about not pissing off the people providing the model, and the magazines got to worry about advertisers. It's like, you know what? We don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So
For sure.
you educate folks so they can make the best informed decision. And after that, it is what it is. How many times, Wesley, GB, me personally, have we been asked?
Right.
And then we always want to know, I'm sure, the same things. And emotion's the same way. It's part of the culture now in this community where folks want to give the best answer possible for that person. So what are you flying now? What have you been flying successfully? Where do you see yourself in the future? What kind of batteries do you have already? I mean, I'm such a nerd. I know what everything
kind of batteries
takes.
do you want to get into? Do you really want to do?
I know what size of,
or 6,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I know exactly. If you want to fly an F-18, but all you have are 4,000s or less, then I know which is the best choice for you. But if you're stuff though that I know takes bigger packs, well, then you can steer them that way.
For me it was an easier choice too, because I've got 5,000s coming out of my nose, whereas I don't have very many 4,000s. So that's why I was like, I'm going to go with this F-18, the big one.
Sure, and
it's opportunity for it.
It's it's opportunity too. It's like I'm getting to work with these guys, so I'm gonna fly what they send over.
Right.
And I'm also gonna buy the one that I want, which is the big dog. You know what I mean? Like I want to, and that's why the comparison stuff is. I think it's a good idea, and I think guys really want to see it. And each thing on its own, and that's why I'll always reiterate with choices. No skin off anybody's nose if I'm flying the 70 mm one day versus the 90 mm the next, and these guys, you're it shouldn't bother anybody. Yeah. We're here for the customer, the consumer, the other super fans just like ourselves to get the best info to make their best decision.
Absolutely. I always try and break it down with the pros and cons with objective information as much as possible anyway, because we're going to always have our own preferences, but I try and break it down like that. And here's the information. This is my opinion with this. You decide what's right for you or not, and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's it.
Man. I think we're on a record for the longest boozer show ever tonight.
Well, man, I'm telling you, you did a double
records left and right too. I mean, I got you guys on, I got James on. It's just been crazy. And thank you guys for staying up late with us tonight.
No problem, man. I'm on the West Coast time.
Oh, so it's still like
I'm not
dinner
sure if
time
John's
for you.
messaging me or not. We may be going flying here a little bit. There's still a little daylight. However, I have not yet made my Zod Neon Orbit, which has killer lights.
What the
all
heck
that stuff.
is a Zod
here's
Neon
the box right
Orbit?
here.
What is that?
It's an FPV wing.
That is cool.
So this is the box. I've got it in another room. I'm kind of connected to the headphones and stuff here, so can't go snag it. But if you scroll down my recent videos, you'll see the unboxing. A big nose light. It's got lights in the wings, so you can fly it day or night, and you can add FPV stuff to it too. On my channel, but I enjoy it. I've got some little quads that I have some fun throwing the fat sharks and rip around a bit.
Dude, that looks sweet. I love doing the night flying stuff. I'm still kind of new to it. I've got the Flex Innovation C170 night version.
Oh man,
and,
I saw that. I
haven't had a chance to fly it at night yet, but I want to.
Yeah, my buddy just got the Kiki something. I think the 300. And it was a Daylight Maiden, but I saw when I was searching for Flex Innovation stuff, yours was like the second down from that keyword. So I was like, oh man, that's awesome. You're everywhere.
I'm trying to be
and that's
everywhere.
That's why you just hit 1,000
That's right.
subs.
I'm trying to be everywhere, and with you guys' help, it's just growing every day. It's awesome, man.
Little SEO up in
That's
here.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It is awesome, guys. I thank y'all again. I said again, but I mean, thank you for being here. And I want to do this more. I want to definitely have GB back on the show. I want to have you back on the show, of course, Ryan. I think we get, one of these airplanes.
I thought you were nuts.
Why?
I didn't think. I mean, I thought you had a great. You already had a great
but
show.
what the heck?
But
Let's make it even keep going.
No, I'm glad. When you asked me, it's
Right.
hard for me to say no. I'm like, yeah, I've done 50 of these in a row. I kind of like it, I guess.
Dude, and it's fun,
You know.
Guys like seeing us every week. Man, I got to get off of here though.
Have you talked to Photon's sister
Yeah,
yet?
I saw him up on, or saw her up on Facebook, right? Or was it Instagram?
I like Instagram.
I can't remember. She had the blonde
Yeah.
hair. Yeah.
There's this.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen
too.
Photon's sister?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
She's a Russian
just as wild
operative
as he is.
now.
Ricky is hilarious. Ricky, if you're watching this right now, dude, you make me
Oh,
laugh.
yeah. That guy
all the
is
time.
nuts, and I love it. He sends the funniest Snapchat stuff, and I mean, or not Snapchat, but Instagram stuff. He's a hoot, and always in the comment sections. It's just you never know what you're gonna get with Ricky.
He's counting you down,
I know.
Boozer. He wants you to shut
he
up.
does.
These guys will rush you to counting off because they don't want to miss
Right.
anything,
And
but
I
they're ready
think
to
it's
go.
probably fair to do it. It's
Um,
getting pretty late for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, well, I work early,
too.
but so what? That's what's nice about you starting at
Right.
8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
So Dave's RC's been in here tonight
Skip's
a little
in.
bit.
How's it
He's
going,
gonna-
Dave?
We gotta get. And
We do.
I'm half pissed he wasn't at my show last night though.
Right?
So if you see him, tell him to get bent.
I see
will
him
ya?
down there. Dave's RC. Skip's in here too tonight. It's pretty cool. A lot of the big channels. We got to get them all in
it's
here.
fun.
We got to get Dave. We got to get Skip. We got to get them all on. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Dave's holding it down too. Everybody's making videos, but the live stream thing is kind of it's a new
Right.
thing, really, relatively, that we even have access to do these things. I don't know how long it's been. Maybe we're a little behind the
For
curve.
the
but
RC community, I
Man.
think we're in front of everybody. We're
Cutting edge,
But
man.
as far as
yeah,
In a
video
lot of ways,
gamers
yeah.
go, we're pretty
That-
far behind. If we were 13 making
Yeah.
video games,
That's another
we'd
world.
be far behind right now. We'd be left in the dirt.
well, if it was about making money,
Right.
I'd play Fortnite or something. Those
Killing it.
guys are killing. Invested too.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd rather be out cooking in the sun, flying these things anyway.
There's something about it.
It's how I get
magic,
out of the house.
But
It is, man.
GB, I really do thank you for coming on the show. It's great to have the face to the infamous fingers, I should say. He's always flying. But no red ever face. Put your face in some of your videos, man. It's good to see it. You get a big smile.
Yeah. I'm a
No.
little shy, so
We'll get you out of that. You hang out with us long enough.
The only guy who does flannel graph, GBLyndens. Do you know what flannel graphs are? They always use them for. I think that headboard is world famous, but it looks like a total amphitheater you're doing. I love it.
Yeah, you like that reflection off that?
Yeah.
So
And then I love
quick
your.
story.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Quick story real quick. So I got that. I got the black leather couch, which you see here. This is way back in 2002, and I got the black bedroom set, which matching dresser and the headboard. My brothers Lee Murphy, Andrew Dice Clay, we were heavily influenced by those guys. So I've been on my best behavior tonight. That's also why I don't do live very much, because I usually edit stuff out. You know what I mean? But my brother's like, yeah, nice porn star headboard you got there, buddy.
Yep. It is pretty funny. All of his videos.
Yep.
They start on the. Yep.
Wesley's like,
That's
yep,
right.
takes one to know one.
Oh man, it's been cool though. I mean, it's crazy. The other thing that's funny to me is a year ago, I was just watching these things going, man, I want to fly that and I want to fly that. And I watched all you guys' video, you, GB, and Ryan, and everybody's videos. I'd go and watch them, and that plane's cool. Never thought that I'd be sitting here talking to you guys tonight about the latest awesome airplanes. It's a very surreal experience.
It's awesome, and it's what the
right
hustle will get you. Because I thought the same thing about the magazine stuff. I was reading the reviews, and I was like, man, I want to do that, So I did, and you did it too. You did the same thing. Well,
yep.
What's stopping me? So
right.
you did, and then you made some good friends.
That's the cool part too. Is every week I've got the same guys coming. Wreck-Up Roy and Dave's RC and Jeff's Custom RC, and every week I see the same guys. They hang out with us, and it's becoming kind of like a little family now, and it's just been really cool. And I'm glad GB's joining the Boozer family. It's just an awesome experience, and I'm extremely thankful for everything that we've had the opportunity to do and meet, and it's a wonderful experience.
It really is. I think a lot of us sometimes take this stuff for granted a little bit, and everybody kind of already. But yeah, so a lot of guys maybe didn't know GBLyndens until tonight.
Right.
But GB's been holding it down for
a long time.
A long time. I don't know if we started at the same time or what.
It's probably pretty close. Like, I got my F9F Wildcat, I think it was either 2012 or 2013, somewhere in that
I think we did, man, because it was, my first upload on this channel was September 12th or 9th, 2012. Okay. But who's counting?
That was the Champ, right?
It was the FMS Hellcat with upgraded, modified E-Flight struts, because the ones that came with it were pieces of garbage. But it was fun. But then immediately after we did those flight lessons and stuff. But then
that's where I saw the Champ stuff.
Yeah,
that's when you came onto my radar.
Yeah, man,
I was flying a lot of the micro stuff, and I was like, those guys are doing something cool there. And for me, I was just trying to learn. We all started at the same. You were doing a lot of hat cam stuff. You were going to the hobby shops. You were picking up a plane. You were going out in the middle of some dirt road somewhere. Yeah, and my iPhone 4S. Actually, some of them, like my Banana Hobby Star Max F18 stuff, that was with my iPhone 4S and my one of my friends, Joy, first. But Joy was a little more available here and there during that time period, so we got a lot of stuff on the iPhone 4S, and I just wanted to study what I was doing to get better, and then start gaining a little traction, and what the heck, man, I'll get a new plane and do a video, and it all kind of just gained.
It was cool. You were offering a lot of videos are out there, but it seemed like, and even maybe still, there's not a whole lot of it. A lot of people will capture video for posterity, and then there's a handful of us who make videos for those watching. Mm-hmm. So I feel like GB was always talking to us as well. And if you wanted to know about a new plane, the dude was running through it with you, and laying it out. You knew what you were going to get. And that was really good, and that was 2012. We did our channel for 9 months, and then we got pulled away. You've kept plugging and done all kinds of RC stuff. So GBLynden, ladies and gentlemen, is royalty, really. But
you're too kind, man. You're too
if you kind. If you didn't know him, now you do. Check him out. Say that you do. Are you more in? I feel like there's so many disciplines in the hobby. And Wesley, I'm not trying to know your show, dude. I just want to blow up.
It's all good, man. We're having a good time tonight.
I want to blow GB up because he's always been, no matter what channel I was doing, very, very supportive and awesome. And I always knew that you were there. GB. So I wanted to thank you for that, man, because there's so many guys that I recognize their name, but maybe never. You might be one of them.
Well, and
finally
when you
now
started
see
your so to speak of your channel. Hey man, you kicked a lot of people over to my channel too. So you help everyone. You've helped Chloe. I've seen you help a lot of people, man.
Oh,
you deserve a lot of respect too.
He didn't help the boozers at all.
I'm still
here. Seriously, that's how I heard of you first.
No, Ryan did. In all seriousness, he was pushing us pretty hard in the beginning, and I really appreciate it.
I am glad to support those who support me. That's what's up. And in my life, not just RC, I applaud and lift up people who do. I mean, even the people at the drive-through, right? It's like, it's not airplanes, it's not cool, but it's like, man, they're working. They're working.
Oh yeah.
I'm like high-fiving them, fist bump. Glad to see you. Have a good. It's hard out there, and if somebody's being proactive, then give them a nudge. So, in the same way with you were doing a good job, man. Early on, it was easy to support you, and you and your dad were supporting us really hard. And it's kind of scary being a guy who everybody knows in video. For 5-7 minutes at a time every couple of weeks, to all of a sudden opening yourself up where people might actually get to know you better.
Yeah.
Doing a live stream was kind of spooky. I was like, I wasn't sure folks were going to like me. Maybe I'm a little surly, kind of crass. But man, Wesley and his dad and Lori were always supporting the show. So I think that's kind of how it started, Wesley. Didn't you ask me some questions early on, too? He's asking me some YouTuber stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
We started out a long time ago, and I just kind of went back and forth with you. I was still working my other job. I think I was in Kansas or something even. And we were bouncing back and forth just on even before he even knew who I was. One thing I'll say about Ryan is he was never too big to talk to anybody. I just messaged him out of the blue.
Agreed.
A year and a half ago, I started messaging back and forth. Hey, I'm interested in this thing. How'd you get into it? That kind of stuff. And we bounced back and forth on there. And finally, one day, he's just like, dude, pick up the phone. Here's my phone number and call me. And we talked for a while. And that's kind of how I got in with Ryan. And we started talking about it. And then I filmed a couple videos for that Motion RC, what were they calling it back then? Fan flights. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And if you go back and look, I mean, we're one of the original fan flight videos, flying the Spitfire and the T-45. And I got done with it, and I was like, man, that was kind of fun. I think I could do this for like a YouTube thing. And they just kind of lit the fire under me, and it was right about the same time you were starting up your channel too, Ryan.
Yeah, I fan flights. I didn't do fan flights. That wasn't me.
And I mean, in all seriousness, I was talking to you back then, and I kind of knew that it was, this.
No, it's a cool thing. I look for. They deserve to be able to have somebody fully dedicated, and it worked out the way it worked out, and it's fine.
Yep.
I couldn't do it full time, and so if I could have. The fan flights are a great idea, and I was glad for you. And everybody actually, talk about boosting people up. You get ahead and hurt you either.
Right.
So yeah, you get a fan flight out there, you get your name thrown around a little bit, you get to hang out at events, and it's all good stuff. Definitely. It's all good stuff, man.
So I've got a quick story to dovetail on what Wesley said, and I'll make it real quick. But as far as Ryan getting on the phone with people, my buddy Adam, he's Sarah Evans' keyboard player, but Ryan didn't.
Oh yeah.
He didn't know. He was just helping a guy pick out his, I think it was the EDF jet. I think that's what he was looking at, and you steered him towards the F-86, I believe.
he was
talking
asking
to
me,
but I wasn't an expert at that time, in the jet space. Still not an expert, still learning. But he was talking to me, and then he told me that he was talking to you. He spent like what, an hour or so talking to you.
yeah.
Yeah. And Ryan.
Well, that's where Dennis Farley came from.
Except to help him.
Yeah, man. That's it. He was talking to me. I think he was thinking of a couple jets. It's always options. People will always throw 1, 2, or 3 at me, and then I try to dig in and figure out what the best answer is. It turns out his father spent time working on or flying in real F-86s, so that was, and I believe he's an elderly gentleman, right, at this point. So
yeah, well, actually, his dad recently passed, so the timing on that couldn't have worked out any better.
So we recommended, we were like, well, dude, go. Then what are you waiting for? You got to go F-86. Now, it was only because of that situation was that the right answer, because he's an E-Flight Viper kind of soldier right now. But I think he did get it, and then he let his dad see him fly it, and he said he lit up like a kid.
Oh yeah, he was so excited, just all the way around.
That's
and
awesome.
Then he got and he loves that. So
Captain America.
He got Captain America.
He put the shield in the cockpit, man.
He's got a pretty nice video of it up of his maiden flight. He's flown it a bunch since then. Had an experience, I think it was Joe Knoll or someplace. Lost it and then got another one. Long story, but
yeah.
But no, that he told me that, being impressed, and I was very impressed on top of that. Just hearing.
That's neat, man. Well, that's how, that's how a lot of these guys. I mean, that's how anybody who's feeling like they're left out of, like, I don't know, the scene. It's just, you just got to hang out a little longer. You know what I mean, or reach out, because there's a lot of guys like Dennis Farley, man. I mean, we're brothers from another mother at this point, and it started off ESC question. Through Motion, he contacted customer service and asked. A lot of guys would call and ask to talk to us, especially early on, And so, the customer service guys would call me or message me, email and say, "Hey, man, this guy wants to talk to you." I'm like, "Yeah, send him over. It's fine. I'll tell him." I mean, I'm the guy they saw using the equipment, so I'll be glad to answer them if they want to know. And sometimes the question was more than a couple sentences would answer. So it's like, well, let's get on the phone together then.
Right.
I would do that Mission Impossible stuff sometimes on a comment section. I'll be like, dude, like legit, like so stupid, but I would put my phone number out and I'll be like,
oh man,
call me. This is going to self-destruct in like 5 minutes. And sometimes people call me that way too. Wesley's trying to wrap it.
You're
I'm
good,
shut
man.
up.
You're good. I'm here, man. I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying hearing you guys talk. I've been leaving y'all alone so y'all can talk.
People are enjoying the talk.
Everybody's loving it. I mean,
awesome, guys.
It is 11 o'clock, and I plan on
appreciate
having
you
you back. Let's talk some more, guys. 3-hour show. We did it.
Yeah. Hey, the way you're making money,
That's
you ought to
right,
stay
all
on as
night
long as
long.
you can.
Yeah, that's true, guys. If you're just tuning in, 1,000 subs.
That's
He just
right.
hit 1,000
We
subs.
did it 1K.
That's
And if you've been doing YouTube very long, that is the absolute.
Yes.
It's all easier.
Well,
from
it's
that
funny.
point
I
on.
hit 1K last week. I've had 100 subscribers this week.
Dude, that's how it works.
It's
You get
exponential,
Right.
dude.
YouTube loves
right.
momentum.
Yeah. What do you? So let's talk.
Why
Since
not?
we're
Let's
nerding
talk a
out,
little
man.
more.
And really, Wesley, shut me
Good.
down, but
You're
you
good.
asked for it. So, a 5-year break, GB, on this channel. So, what? I mean, I almost was going to just start a brand new one. And the subs I had were probably dead ones. Like, it was what? I almost didn't jump back in on the same URL because I thought it was going to not work out. But it's, been working out. And I think, when did I come back, y'all?
It's
I mean,
been-
was it October?
I think it was September, October-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Probably 50 weeks ago or so. You know what I mean? I think I really wasn't quite sure how things were going to go. I pumped a lot of attention into Instagram. I wasn't really wanting to do flight reviews yet over here because I still had a foot in the door.
Off the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I started the live stream 50 weeks ago. So whatever the math is on that, I haven't been back for a year. And this, not to blow any whistles, but it's like I'm over the moon to have hit 5,000 the other day.
Yeah, that's great, man.
But it's ironic too because I grew one about your size once, GBLynden.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, it a little bit different, man. I mean, it's I think too, the motion channel not being monetized is one thing that algorithmically holds it back. I feel like YouTube wants to promote the stuff they're making money on more.
Potentially. I'm not sure they'll even admit to that, but I don't think that's wrong to assume that.
You know what I mean? And we never, we originally never, we never wanted to do it, because I mean it's a corporate, it's a corporate YouTube channel.
Sure.
I mean it doesn't make sense to, I guess they do whatever they want to. Or I mean if we're showing off these planes, it's redundant. It's like it's an ad on a, not really an ad, but kind of an ad, you know. But anyway, so Wesley's going to be, you're going to see ads on Wesley's stuff now.
I'm going to make it where y'all got like 15 ads before you can see anything we're doing.
When you see that ad for Sybaris on Wesley's channel, make sure you click and book an appointment for a back rub or whatever. And he'll make an extra nickel per 1,000 views.
Man, a nickel might be pretty high. I'm not sure about you, but I get a bunch of views on a video, and it's not always translating to any coin. That's for sure.
It's funny the way categories work, I guess. Some channels, depending on what they're about, can have levels, but earn really good on.
Oh yeah,
and it depends on the demographic and a bunch of other stuff too.
A bunch of other
time
stuff.
of year, all sorts of stuff.
And I don't know. I'm just excited to be able to have the super chats. To be honest.
Yeah, man.
That's
super chat. That's. I can't see the details because the computer's quite a ways back, but I see tons of colors. I've seen them throughout the whole
awesome.
deal.
You know, I don't have Patreon or anything else, and this is like our main.
Either.
That's like the main revenue we've ever made tonight on the Boozer channel was from that. So
people
awesome.
People know you. I have Patreon, and there's a few guys on it, and I don't push it very hard. People know you from YouTube, so that's where they want to do it.
YouTube.
So that's where they want to do it. So I mean, the live streams are this huge surprise. Like you guys, I mean, some of you know, like I started doing this live stream because once I was segueing out and away from really being the main man holding down social over there, I started studying, ironically, YouTube and stuff like that even harder. So funny how that works. Like I was doing it already. And I mean, the cool thing was what I learned was that most of the things we were doing are really proper protocol for trying to, grow and play to the algorithm and stuff anyway. But I learned some things about, stepped out of the RC box of YouTube and kind of see what's successful. And that's why
you follow Sonny and some other people on social.
Yeah, man. For real, and these folks are crushing it, and they're right. So everything they say makes sense once you hear it, but until they say it, you don't put it. It's not in your mind. So consistency was like the big one. Yeah. And since I already felt like I had built a huge community with the 5 years I spent over there at Motion, which was fantastic. It's why I'm here. Maybe why we're all kind of here. in a way. But so knowing I was gonna move on, but not done, I wanted to figure out how to be consistent. And guys, it's hard to coordinate flying sessions around weather, and
It is so
let's
hard.
do this interview show thing. And that worked out for a minute, and then it ended up being me reading the comment section. Then we're kind of wanted to do, which is kind of have guys on the show and stuff, and Wesley and Lori, they're able to devote time to getting their stuff dialed in.
You know.
And in the way that I've been helpful, was shouting out and things like that. They've been super helpful for me as well in dialing in, my stream. I'm a one-man show over here. I mean, it's just he shows up to film. That's it.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. That's cool. It's who he is.
And we're going to get you
he's
to
my
the
dude.
same point with us, Ryan. It's just we've got to sit down and do it. But, we're going to get you set up to where you can do the same
I'm not
thing.
worried. You guys have already got me set up and running where I can drag in graphics and all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. I'm super excited about my new, I'm getting out of this house the end of August, so
New
that'll
setup.
be cool.
Yeah, we'll get you your setup for your guest whenever you get into the new house, and you can break in the new studio with a new guest.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Go all out
gonna
for the
probably
show.
go from I'm gonna really build it out before I show it off. So I'm gonna do. You guys are gonna see Studio B first, which will be in the garage, where kind of more shoppy kind of stuff, while I flesh out Studio A, which is the finished basement and
Hey.
movie room. Anyway,
Hanging up in there. Hang on. There's somebody. Lori's
What are you
gonna give
getting?
me something real quick. There's somebody in the room that I haven't seen in here before, and I want to do something funny. Right there, the hat hanging up right there. Right there, right by the TV, Lori. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. Here we go. Huh. We got to do it Florida style, though. Captain Blush! He's in the chat. Hey.
Nice.
Hey.
Captain Blush.
Hey. So our Sylvania brothers are here. he was.
oh my gosh! Hey, he said if you hand toss too much, you can go blind, my friend.
Oh, hey. Film me. You like mine? This is the Florida style of his house.
Oh my gosh!
His hat.
Yeah, Gilligan.
Skipper, that's right, because it's a 3-hour show.
Oh my.
Show.
So I'm seeing the leg. I've got about 10, 15 seconds. I
Oh,
just
yeah,
saw
yeah.
the hat go on
It's
right now.
a little
That's
bit
awesome.
of a lag, but hey, we salute you, Captain Blosh. Robert, we salute you. Welcome. We've been
I tell
having a
ya.
good night. Go back and check this show out. It was a lot of fun. Anyway,
What a
It
good
was cool
time.
to see
What a good.
look at all these
Good time.
awesome channels, though. I mean, all these airplane YouTubers coming together and hanging out. I mean, it's been surreal. I mean, who would have thought the Merry Boozers would have been bringing us all in on this thing here, huh?
He says, "Love your hat."
He loves my hat. We want to have him on the show in a few weeks if we can figure it out somehow for it to work with him. We really want to get them on the show too. So, Robert, this is GBLynden. If you haven't ever seen his face before, hanging out with us tonight, and pilot Ryan, of course.
Yeah, he's left quite a few comments on my videos over the years, and he's never seen the face. I don't think. Well, maybe I've sent him a couple Facebook messages, so maybe that way.
Right.
He does.
Well, it's cool. And GB, once again, thank you so much for being on tonight. I've had such a good time,
Bet,
and,
man.
and it's so cool to be able to hang out with our buddies, you know.
Yeah, we all
Right.
love this stuff. I mean, we could kind of like what James was saying earlier. When you go to something and no one wants to talk about RC planes. This is where
Right.
it's at, man. We
For
love
sure.
this stuff. There's no way that we would spend all this time doing what we do, watching other people's videos, making our own, all that stuff. If we
Yeah, we're all obsessed.
it's
we-
crack, man.
It is, and they all fly different, and they and you what's the next one, and oh my gosh. And there's so much. I say this before, I've said this many times. We're all on an accelerated program style of trajectory because we can tap into a community that's so full of people who have, like GB, like you mentioned before, like Adam had a question and you sent him down the path to get like the best answers he could. You don't have to know everything, but you know how to get there. And so you can give people great direction. We're all on this accelerated learning program because we all can really come together and find good information.
Yeah, it's all about the community.
It is. It really is. And once, you know, I think some companies get that. And I think those companies do well. And I think those companies end up having a leg up. Even
and they're going to continue to grow.
Even if it's just culture and mindset. There's something special about down in the trenches with you. You know what I mean? Rather than just rather, you know what I mean? So
all right. Well, guys, we have officially hit a 3-hour show. I'm going to go on and say we're going to call this one a night. GB, this is your first time in the show. Do you want to count us down tonight? You're going to start at 5?
5?
And you're going to go real slow.
I trademarked it. You're not allowed.
No, I'm not allowed? Okay, then start at 10.
All right, so we got 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Congratulations on
Smell you later, everybody. GB, it's been a pleasure. Ryan, it's been a pleasure. Let's get out of here, guys.
Later.
See y'all again next week. Same time. See y'all at Ryan's, everybody else's. Bye, guys.
See. All right.
Thanks,
Peace
guys.
out. Later.